rosé because then we won't get shit faced.
No, I told Joe, and also it occurred to me, Joe probably has all this other shit. He's not going to have rosé.
So we should show up with rosé.
I definitely wouldn't have rosé. We're live. Rosé is not my thing, but I'm not an anti-rosé person.
Sure.
I'll drink a fucking pina colada if the moment presents itself.
How'd it go in there? You just enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, it was good. I like your
glass.
rosé.
It's a
lovely.
good summertime beverage.
Would everybody like some Jack Daniels? It's single malt.
Hold on,
barrel.
let me chug this rosé first.
What is single barrel? What does that even mean?
It's just in one of those barrels. It's in
one barrel.
One
As
barrel.
opposed to what? You move it around a bunch of
Double
barrels?
barrel, yeah. You re-barrel that
like
shit.
a fucking shotgun?
Oh my God.
I've listened to Jimi Hendrix live. Machine Gun, you know that song?
Yep.
Machine Gun? God damn, that's one of those songs where sometimes you hear it and you just go, oh wow, like I've maybe been missing out on how good this fucking song is.
Yeah. Dude, he was conjuring shit up.
It's just so good.
Is it off that Band of Gypsies record?
Exactly. Yeah, it's all live.
Yes.
Yeah.
I almost just stopped myself from saying fuck, and then I realized where we were.
Yeah. Thank God.
Wow,
right?
that's
You're not
so
on a regular radio show.
Have we ever fucked that one up on the real radio, on the censored radio?
I don't know. But there's this song called The Power of Love. Sorry, I just want to keep talking about Jimi Hendrix. It's the fourth track that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all the stuff's insane, but there's this tone that he hits that just like carves a piece out of your soul.
When I used to work with Phil Hartman, he told me a story about when he was at the Whiskey, and I think he was a teenager still. I think Phil was like 18 or 19 or something, and he was working as like a stagehand. And his job was to hold up the speaker while Jimi Hendrix was on stage because the stage was so small and the speaker was kind of rocking, so he had to stand there and hold up the speaker.
Wow.
And he said Jimi Hendrix was 5
brutal.
feet in front of me. He said it was fucking incredible.
And
this is
Jesus.
when
was
Hendrix
that?
was just sort of becoming Hendrix.
So
I
early.
don't know.
That'd be like 1966.
We could go back over when he died and when, he would have been like 18 or 19, but I don't remember
He died in the
exact
70s.
age.
He died in 1970.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah.
Damn, look at you, Encyclopedia
Yeah.
Ben.
I love Jimi Hendrix.
Ben Tanica.
Hartman died in I think 98. So whatever that was, those 20 years before that. So it would have been like in the early 70s, I guess.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, actually.
I wish we could go back in time
late 60s.
and experience music like in the 60s and 70s when it
Well,
was
'cause you
just
never
like
would've
everything
heard-
was new. You'd never heard anything like that before.
Yeah, right? It was the
You mean
first
like
time they got
dubstep?
real drugs.
Wait,
It's
what,
first time-
what were the demonic chords, Ben? We were talking about this the other day.
That was
like
a long time ago.
back in like is this like Renaissance
That was
time?
like the 1600s.
Where
There was chords they thought to be
they were
demonic.
evil. Like
What's
if
it?
they heard the shit we played today, it would be like you'd be burned at the stake
Well, I think
because
just
of the
mind
actual.
blowing.
Doom, doom, doom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck that. He would have been
Yeah.
toast.
Well, just the beginning of Voodoo Child.
Right.
You
Oh,
know?
no,
You hear that?
Never get sick of that.
But that's
So good.
kind of when you really stop and think about like there was a clear evolution, right? There was a bunch of shit going on. There was Chuck Berry and there was Little Richard and then there was Elvis and there was all these rock and roll guys, and then all of a sudden there's this eruption out of that, and it's Led Zeppelin, and it's The Who, and it's Hendrix, and it's like people that were just on a completely different level. Queen in their prime.
But it's interesting, like they all were driven. Like, well, Zeppelin was all blues music. They
kind of stole a lot of shit.
They stole a lot of shit. Oh yeah.
That's fucked up,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No,
But
I
that's
mean
kind
yes.
of part of the. It's fucked up that they are dicks about it, but it's
Right.
not out of the ordinary because all those dudes were just playing each other's songs anyway.
Yeah.
That is a giant problem. If you're the guy who created the opening riff to Stairway to Heaven, and it's about your song, and then you try to do it.
Well, the other side of that spectrum is really fucked up though too, because now you're in this game where like if you play anything remotely sounds like that, you'll get sued.
Right.
And at this point, like, I mean, I don't rip off songs from other people. We don't do that. But like, you could write a song and then not know that it had a similar thing,
Right.
similar melody, and somebody could come after you, and that fucking blows.
We were just talking about that Bittersweet Symphony song from the Verve, how they gave all their money to the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Because the opening riff was too similar, which is crazy.
No, they took it's a sample, isn't it? It's
might
not this.
be.
Yeah,
Is it?
this guy named Andrew Lou Oldham produced the Stones and did all this orchestrations for them, and they just.
Oh, they just sampled
Snag
it.
that, yeah.
Now, how does that work, though? That seems kind of crazy that you give it all the money. I don't. I don't mind you giving them money.
I'm sure they didn't give all of it. I mean, they had publishing on their actual song, right?
Is that different?
I don't know the facts.
Is it different, like as a musician? Do you feel like that feels different if someone just uses like, or like if someone heard Ice Ice Baby, they knew it was Under Pressure, right?
Sick.
Right? I mean, it's almost like it's not hurting
Well,
the original
it's almost like
song.
a collaboration at that point because your song was inspired by another song, and obviously there's credit due for that. But it's just an interesting way that the pie gets cut up.
Right.
And the way people just tenaciously hold on to their piece in this way that, I don't know, it really bums me out, to be honest. I mean, obviously you need to get paid and make a living, but inspirationally speaking, it just, the barometer is just so, like, people just go so far off the course in order to get credit and money for things that it's just bullshit.
But I think it's so difficult. You were just talking about that in there. It's so difficult to have a career that keeps paying you.
Right.
That if anybody has something that's close to
Just
the
get 'em.
sun, you're just like, oh, that's it. Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to fucking afford this house.
The music business in particular, or I shouldn't say the music business, because I never really say the comedy business. I would say the comedy world. Because I think you guys are like the closest to big business in the way like your contracts are. You always hear like these nightmare contracts. You're like, Jesus. Like for us, we've never made money doing anything but performing. So no one ever like got a grip of the other stuff.
Right.
Right.
Like with musicians, you guys all made a lot of money selling actual albums back in the day.
We don't, but
I mean, musicians that
It could have,
the
well, but
folks of the
comedy artists
past.
too, right? But I guess they always went through record labels.
Yeah, but
So
there's
did the
no
same.
money in it. There's no. I mean, I should say like a few guys made money. Like Dane Cook probably made a ton of money
Right.
because he had the biggest selling comedy album of all time.
Right.
His was like, is at least platinum. It might have went double platinum.
do you get paid as an actor at that point? Or is it like...
No, he must have had a deal with the record company unless he released it himself. Some people can release their stuff themselves, but I don't know how
Oh, this
that
is
works.
audio, you mean? This isn't like
Yeah.
a live DVD? Okay.
No, but as soon as it gets to be a live DVD, there's two options. One is you could pay for it all yourself, pay for the filming, and then sell it to whatever organization, whether it's Netflix or what have you, or Comedy
Got it.
Central. You could do it
Okay.
that way.
Okay.
What is this?
Here we go.
Two of them went platinum. The
The
first
facts.
two.
They both went platinum.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, that's huge sales. 1,215,000 and 264,000 for the second one. That's incredible. Like for like a stand-up comedian to sell that many albums, he was a real
And people
phenomenon.
actually bought them.
It
Like that
was the
was, you
number
had to
one.
pay for that.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. I wonder what was number one.
I don't know. It's a good question. But
2003? Would that have...
Siri, what was number
U.S.
one?
comedy number 1 and
Would
2.
that have
He's
been
number
Dave
1 and
Chappelle?
2. Look, he's right there, number 1.
No, yeah, but at the time,
The second one.
2003, this
Yeah,
one,
that's
someone was above
2003.
it. That's the highest it ever got was number 2.
Oh.
So someone outpeaked old
Wait,
Dave
when
Chart
Chappelle.
was-
positions.
Did
Oh,
Dave
okay.
Chappelle do live
I don't
or
think he had
audio?
records, really.
He didn't have records.
So that was number 1 on the comedy charts. It was number 1. Period. Oh,
Comedy
okay.
chart, yeah,
What
yeah.
the fuck would
This
be
is,
number 2
this
if
would
his
have
was
been
number 1?
60 This one made it number 4 in the whole U.S. chart overall.
Wow, that's
Which is pretty
crazy.
big.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's giant. So that's it. Like I didn't make shit. I mean, I made some money when I had a record on Warner Brothers in 1999.
Woo! Good
What was
year.
it called?
was a
Wait,
good
was
year.
that is there like a space monkey thing going
No,
on?
that was called "I'm Gonna Be Dead Someday." That was my first thing, and then, the next one was "Shiny Happy Jihad." That was, and then "Talking Monkeys in Space."
That was the one I was
We need to
and
get
then-
our collection for the road travels.
Yeah, I'll hook you guys up.
Hook that shit up, man.
Get it on the Spotify.
How many albums you guys have now?
Trace albums.
Trace.
3. But we're releasing solo records this year. So it's been like a really interesting, like we're working together and separately. It's crazy.
You guys keeping it together? Or you get weird with each other?
All the time.
All the time, both, yeah. It's, yeah.
It's intent. But that is the way it has always been.
always-
And possibly always will be.
Yeah.
Do you think that I feel like as long as everyone's kind, it's unavoidable, and it's like part of the process of dealing with people. It's
Well,
like people get on each other's
we
nerves.
definitely act like shitheads, and then we have these moments of great communication. Well, that's the end goal. But I think I can say that our relationship has made my other relationships in my life so much better because you have to administer patience and listen and really just have,
It's hard for people, right?
Yeah, well, you got to learn how to be wrong, you know, and say you're sorry when you fuck up. Like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. That was stupid of me. I shouldn't have said that.
It's also, there's a balancing act that some people never achieve of listening to someone and thinking about what they're saying and then responding because of that, or just saying what's on your mind. Like, there's like this balancing act. Like, sometimes you just want to say what's on your mind. And sometimes you have to like absorb what this person is saying to you, and then you have to respect it and address it and try to figure out how, as a person that cares about them, what's the best way to get out what you're thinking. Sometimes you don't do that.
And then you have to deal with emotions happening at the same goddamn time, which completely change the way you could speak and move, and you know, I mean,
something that
just crack this open.
Yeah, I got a great therapist. I love her so much, and she, you know, accepting people is a huge deal, and just saying, hey, you and I have very different truths, or like, you know, not you and I, but you know, anyone, and when you're arguing with somebody or you're in disagreement, what is true to them could be completely different to you, but you know. If you just fight that and keep fighting that, you're gonna be so fucked.
Yeah.
And like there's no peace involved in that scenario. So just like accepting your differences is half the battle.
How do we relay your message to the rest of the world and solve this fucking problem?
What's the problem?
The world's in conflict.
Learn how to say you're sorry. Learn how to be wrong.
Gotta speak their language first.
And then listen to each other, for crying out loud. I think that's so important. I feel like people want to be right. Politics right now are just such a shit show. And if I try to stay on board, I just get so exhausted because it's never ending. There's no moment of peace. It's like, okay, now I'm gonna piss. Now you're gonna piss. Now I'm gonna piss, and we're just gonna keep pissing. And it just doesn't like. I don't know. I'm really annoyed with all of that. I can't stand it.
Did you see what that shit poster guy Baked Alaska did? What he posted? He posted a tweet that somehow he was proud that the president was shit posting. Because you know what the president did, what Trump did. He took that meme
CNN
of him
thing?
slamming the guy with a CNN head. And this Baked Alaska guy who's like a famous shit poster. Do you know what a shit poster is? They say like ridiculous shit in their memes, and they fuck with people, and they get people upset. Yeah. It's pretty funny stuff.
Great, yeah.
I'm so honored to live in a country where our president is shit posting on Twitter. It really makes the world a better place.
That's hilarious. Baked Alaska.
It's fucking funny, man. He had the funniest meme about Alex Jones, and I didn't know it was his, and I posted it on my Instagram. Somebody sent it to me. I didn't know who it was, and I posted it, and then he got mad at me, and he said I was stealing jokes. But if I had known it was his, I definitely would have given him credit. But the meme is hilarious. It's him in the hot tub. What's the one with Alex Jones in a hot tub? When everybody wants to chill, but you're so woke you can't help drop truth bombs. It's Alex Jones in a hot tub with sunglasses on. It's just such a perfect meme for Alex. That's a real art form, the funny meme.
Yeah. Oh, agreed.
It really is. And it's not, they're getting fucked. You want to talk about people getting fucked?
Yeah.
The creators of the funny memes.
The memists?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like there it is. But people are trying to relax, but you're so woke, you just happen to drop another truth bomb. Look at him
That's really
with his
funny.
sunglasses on. I love Alex.
Dude, he is red.
Oh, yeah. Well, that might be a filter. Instagram uses a lot of filters to make you look unhealthy. Yeah, it's psyops.
Isn't there a lot of shaming with the meme stuff though now? It's like if you start stealing people's memes, you're a target. Right?
You become, well, yeah, but the problem is a lot of people are still not aware. Like there's a lot of people that have become famous because they have websites and their pages get millions and millions and millions of followers, and all they're doing is stealing people's memes.
Right.
And some of them have been forced to credit people, and some of them just sort of like that fat Jewish guy. He just sort of writes the person who created its name in the
Didn't he got in big trouble though?
He got in trouble. Yeah, he got caught. But I mean, it was a Wild West. You don't in my book.
Yeah.
But it's the Wild West. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like no one knew how. I mean, if you send me something and it's really hilarious, you know, and then like Eddie Bravo just sent me one on Bill Cosby. I don't think I could share it, but it's fucked up enough. I could show it to you, but he sends it to me, and I'm like, bah, ha, ha. I don't know who the fuck came up with it, you know. It says when you realize building a wall fucks your Quaalude supply.
Oh my God! Oh, that face. Did he make that? I was gonna say, did Eddie make that?
No, I don't. He might have. I don't know. I have no idea. Eddie does a lot of funny shit. He might have made that himself, but I don't know who made that. You know what I mean? So like when something like that happens, he sends it to me. I might send it to Jamie. Jamie might send it to Brendan.
Well, when you make it, can you put your?
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
I think they got his eyes right.
He might. I mean, Eddie might have made that.
That's gonna haunt my dreams.
But the point is, like,
how dare you?
How does someone? I mean, it's so easy to make one of those, but it's a really funny joke. Like, how does someone like claim that? There's
well, I was gonna say, can you put your stamp? Like, can you have
your
like
a watermark?
Your icon?
Thing, I guess.
Or like.
That seems annoying though. That you'd have
super
to do
annoying.
that.
All this shit is annoying.
Yeah. But if you Ben had a Instagram page and you started putting up those memes, people would steal them. But if you made your own, if you just decided, you know, as an exercise, in between writing songs, I'm gonna write some fucking joke memes.
Yeah, I'll meme it for a little bit.
Instagram.
Yeah,
you know?
I think I don't. I guess I just let it. I think I'd struggle with that. That's a tough one.
Be an issue, right? You'd be like, these motherfuckers.
But you're already co-opting other people's images anyway, and a lot of the time you. Phrases and stuff like that. It's almost like collage.
Remember when you got in that little battle with Mark Maron?
You guys got in a battle?
I got in a Twitter fight with Mark Maron.
There was a little bit of a Twitter argument.
Over what? Mark Maron, by the way, will argue with his own mom on Twitter.
Yeah.
What happened?
He said something about, he said, I don't know why this pissed me off. He said, memes are the cancer of our culture's imagination.
Oh, that's not true.
Shut the fuck up. And I kind of sent him this
Get out
tweet
of Silver
back
Lake,
that was
take
like,
a deep breath.
Yeah, you don't know, like, because I was also reading this other shit.
He had a great retort, though. You said, I don't think you know exactly what it means. Sorry. I jumped in.
Do it. Take it home.
What did you say?
No, he said, I sent back kind of like a similarly bitchy thing because I was reading about memes in a different context. And I was like, it's actually not what memes means all the time, Mark. And he was like, I know exactly what it means. And I was like, fuck, that's really funny. Damn. But then he went on and kind of like drove it home. He called me a poetry assassin.
What?
Yeah. And then he said I was narrow-minded.
Guns blazing.
And I was like, dude,
how are you narrow-minded? Because you don't agree with his assessment of memes?
Because I went back at him. I don't know.
Wow, that means you're narrow-minded.
We had some friends jumping in and being like, "Hey, honey, you're great."
That was a great moment because Vernon Reed from his band called In Living Color chimed in and stood up. He was my knight in shining.
I think we as human beings have to resist. Memes are the cancer cells in the cultural imagination. Oh, God. And by the way, you know what I hate about it the most? No capital letter, no period. No! You can't do that.
We were on tour when this was happening, and we were like, I don't know where
it's a cool man, but sorry, but you're wrong. So I definitely can't claim any victory in that situation.
No, I think we had to pull over. We had to pull over so we could figure out what to do.
You might as well have a cigarette holder if you're writing that. You should have a black turtleneck and a cigarette holder.
No, it's some bullshit.
I'm proud of you.
You should be listening to jazz.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
You should be listening to jazz if you write that.
I like jazz.
What's wrong with jazz?
Nothing.
Jazz is great.
But there's some people that listen to jazz just so people know they're listening to jazz.
Oh, that's fucked up.
You know that guy.
Yeah.
You know that guy.
Yeah.
That's that guy.
So I just remembered there's this great, you said Little Richard and Jimi Hendrix before.
Yeah.
There's this, Jimi Hendrix was in Little Richard's band. Do you know that?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
before he was, what he was.
I think I read that.
And there's this great fucking interview with Little Richard talking about Jimi Hendrix. Just high as a kite. It's amazing.
And also, how about Jerry Lee Lewis? Jerry Lee Lewis fucking killed how many wives?
Oh my God.
Didn't he kill a couple of them?
It's so good. He said, he made my toe go up my boot.
Yeah.
What?
Heroin.
I told you that everybody is a star. The only problem is some people haven't been put in the dipper and pulled back on the world.
Whoa.
That's what the answer is.
Jesus, Little Richard's amazing.
That's what the answer. You got to be placed into the dipper and pulled back on the world. Down on the world, and then men will see your good works and glorify God Jehovah. Jimi Hendrix could play that rock and roll. I used to be singing rock and roll, getting woo, 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 be gone. He have that thing just romping and tumping all up under my toes. At times, he used to make my big toe shoot up in my boot. He did it so good. He gave it all to you.
Love him so much.
And that's what you want. You want it all or none. But
Can I just pause this right here?
To go on.
Little Richard is what every gay man should aspire to. Just be so fucking fabulous that you are undeniable.
So good. And Freddie Mercury, we were talking about him earlier. Have you seen those? There's like mid-70s shit. And it blows my mind.
I haven't seen anything.
Because the dude is he looks like Lord Farquaad, but if that means anything to anybody. But he's tall, and he's got this skin-tight white suit, and it's mid-70s, and he's gay, and his dick is just like, boom. Like, you could just see
He doesn't
his
give a
dick.
fuck.
And he's
Yeah.
present. If you did that now, you'd be done. You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
No, you
What do
can't.
you mean you can't
Who
do
does that? Who is up on stage with their dick hanging out?
Hey, was it actually hanging out?
Literally, you're just like, oh, there's his dick.
No,
It wasn't
you mean
like-
outside of his pants, you're saying?
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
dude, you're not
clearly-
doing a good job with
Clearly
this.
presented. Here, let me clear this up. It doesn't need to be outside. It's a transparent material.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I'm
On
What's
just
like a
saying,
not- like a
if-
stocking?
If Justin Timberlake did that, it would be
Justin,
all
or if
fucking
you're listening,
over.
you should do
You
this.
should do that,
it's
Justin.
time.
Yeah, do it. See what
Sexy
happens.
bitch.
Express yourself.
See what happens.
Get those feet moving fast.
Some of us
Confuse
want to
everybody.
know.
No, but I just thought it
Do
was
you-
crazy that it was so different that people were somehow just.
So is it pantyhose? Like, what is
he's
he?
got this like skin tight bodysuit,
Right, and what color is it?
white,
But how did
white.
it make you feel?
pure white. I was fascinated.
So you're looking at his dick like as if he was wearing like tight underwear, right?
It's beyond that.
Beyond that.
You know what I'm saying?
Is there
What
pictures of
you
this?
can
Ben, what
make that-
about
it's a
Magic
live
Mike?
DVD.
What about stuff like that?
Like what?
But
Magic
that's
Mike?
a movie about people stripping. This is
Okay,
a
that's
live
fair.
concert in
That's
front
fair.
of people. Anybody could fucking go, and the dude's just like, bam.
Dick
Damn.
out.
Yeah, it just shocked me. That's all, and inspired me.
Do you remember those old
How is
Led
this going to
Zeppelin
affect
pictures?
your solo record release this fall?
Remember those old Led Zeppelin pictures where Robert
Similar.
Plant
Oh,
would
yeah.
have his hog tucked up on the side of his leg? You'd
I
be
mean,
like, good
What are you going
Lord.
to do? You can't lie about that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fake that. Everybody would know.
Yeah, but when you wear underwear, it doesn't show like that, and he probably got hard before the photo. That
That is
what
a
I would
talent in
imagine.
and of itself, let alone
That
the
takes
voice of
focus.
an angel.
Well, if you
takes
just
focus.
put a rubber band around your cock and balls,
Go
like,
on.
right before you
Shit.
do it. Like look at that,
Boom,
look at him
boom.
there.
That's insane. That looks like
Yeah.
that looks uncomfortable. Like
Have
how
you
do
ever
you
worn a
definitely
cock
was.
ring
how do you
yourself?
walk with that?
Definitely was.
You walk cock out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
rough.
You kind of
Like look at the one in the white there.
Yeah, he's drooping.
Jesus
so,
Christ.
So imagine
That's
that.
his dick.
Imagine that, but if you could see like the outline, there's a well-defined
the left.
head. That'd be Freddie Mercury.
Well, then you know it's real.
Maybe he'll have like a problem. Put his dick to the right.
Isn't that the
He's in
thing
pain.
that you hang one way? You can't really change it, right?
What?
It's like I'm right-handed.
This
I'm not
is offensive.
ambidextrous.
You don't even have a penis. You're
Yeah.
offending me.
Well, I'm asking. I want to know.
Show what? Show what?
If you
dare
were,
you.
if you were a girl and we were talking about your vagina, it would be really gross, right? We'd be like,
Would that be
you
gross?
can't ask questions
I'd be
about
into it.
what a
Let's
vagina.
talk about it.
Yeah,
What do you want to
the
know?
Which way does your
labia
vagina
hangs
slant?
left, hangs right.
I think it's just right down the middle. I'm
got
I'm
like-
perfectly
well aligned.
proportioned.
Symmetrical. Every Robert Plant one, his dick swinging to the left.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's that big, he's got to like tuck it in a leg. He's got to choose a leg, and he's just gotten comfortable. He's got like a groove on the left side where it tucks in.
I mean, if you position yourself on stage a certain way, and I mean, you guys all have dicks, right? So you don't
do.
you-
Allegedly.
but you don't wear pants as tight
seen
as
it.
Robert Plant. So
I mean, check me out.
Look at this. What is going on
Oh,
here? He's got
come
his pants
on.
down.
is that a scrotum?
It says Robert's Last Stand. What is it? Is that a real photo?
I don't think so.
That's a
That
real
can't be.
cover of a real album?
Ben,
That's not one of the
Ben,
records.
fact
I found
checker.
the blank
not
one,
a-
and then there was the real one was attached to it.
Encyclopedia
So I found
Britannica.
that.
Is that a real cover?
Oh, so in that one you actually see his dick? Is that what the
Maybe that's-
implication is?
Maybe.
God. I have these moments when we're podcasting where I'm like, God, I hope my parents never listen to this.
They
But
definitely
they
won't.
might really be into it. I don't know. What do you think, Ben?
Well, here's the thing.
Ray and Kath?
I've been going through a thing with my mom. We don't really know each other that well, right? It's the truth. And I feel like this, she would learn a lot about me and my life.
Oh my God.
in
That's
this.
heavy.
That's a lot.
Should we send it to her?
Definitely not.
No. That's terrible.
I don't think she could handle it. That would be
I think she'd be
horrifying.
freaked out. Yeah,
Sorry, Mom.
it's okay.
But
She
that-
loves you.
I
She's a
mean,
delicate person.
Whenever, especially in this day and age, whenever do you have a chance to sit and talk to someone for 3 hours straight like this?
It's rare.
It's sort of the cure for what ails us when it comes to communicating, like podcasts, because it's so informal and it's really just like sitting down talking, which is what a lot of us don't ever have the chance to do anymore. Everyone
Right.
is always doing a million things. You're always looking at your phone. You're always about to go somewhere. You got a
Right.
meeting. You got a this. You got a that. When the fuck do you ever get 3 hours to just sit? To just sit
It's a special thing.
It is. And
We're
it
very
seems
excited to be here.
But isn't it crazy that just talking is a
Yeah.
special thing? Like, that shows you how weird we are right now. Like,
Right.
as human beings, like as an organism that grew up in a social environment. I mean, every person that survives, that's alive today, comes from a history of people that were in tribes.
Right.
We're in these little groups of people, and social interaction was everything.
Yep.
Like, you had to know each
But
other.
so was being alone, and that doesn't happen very often either. When people, well, I mean,
Someone's moody.
how dare you? Come on. No, but you were talking
safer
about
when
like
I'm not
You're right.
devices and
I
stuff.
couldn't help myself.
No,
I'm a comedian.
I love you, but you're
I love
a dick.
you too. I had to jump in there.
But it's true. Like
No, you're right.
We're always so busy. There's always shit going on, and like I definitely have these moments where like I wasn't just sitting, not talking to someone or looking at my phone. Like I can't remember when I wasn't just moving, you know,
Yeah.
and not even meditating, just like sitting.
I've become super aware, at least over the last year, that there's a lot of wasted time in looking at devices and computers. Like I've been real aware of it to the point where I had to weigh the benefits of it, or benefits are pretty numerous. Like I get a lot of really interesting articles off of social media, and really interesting articles that I find online, and really interesting, up-to-date information about space and science. That's very, very valuable
Right.
to me. But then there's also a lot of scrolling through nonsense.
Totally. It's equally as fruitful as it is beguiling because you
Yeah.
get fucked up and lost in it. And like, I wanted to invent this app that I think someone probably already did it, but that puts a lock on your social media. So you only get like 20 minutes a day. And once it's
they
up,
have
it's
those.
done.
They have those.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't want it. You just want to develop some
but it's also crucial for
control.
our careers. Like it's crucial to
Yes.
like
your
have,
thing is built on social media.
Yes.
It's crazy.
The
But I
thing
think-
is, though, you need time alone where you're bored. This is what I believe.
read a book.
I think you need time to just be able to sit and think about something or do something, like practice something when you're like, I'm sure you guys are like this with music, right? Where you
Ben's
don't.
a great practicer. I'm really envious of his discipline. He practices guitar every day.
Well, it's like yeah, you got to. It's like meditation. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think there's something to that for sure that some people don't experience.
Yeah.
You put your phone over there or
Right.
shut it off or put it in airplane mode and just do your thing, you know?
Well, you know what's crazy about the practice is when you can separate, because it's tough because I'll have devices on my phone that help me practice. I'll have metronomes and stuff
Right.
like that. And then all of a
Timers.
sudden, bing, bing, the stuff's going off. And the difference between
You can put it
when
on
I
airplane
don't
mode.
have my phone, when I'm not communicating with the social media world or texting, whatever, and when I do, it's insane. In 20 minutes, it's like working out. If you focus for 20 minutes, it's going to replace 3 hours of shitty working out. Am I right about that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's all about how deep you can go in, just cognitively. But and I think in general, people were like coming to grips with this now as like an etiquette, because we didn't 10 years ago, none of this stuff existed. This is like fresh out the gate. So we're trying to figure this out. And there's this dude, you just see people paying more and more attention to exactly what you're saying. There's this guy that wrote a book called Deep Work, and it's like going viral. People are paying attention to this guy's ideas that are exactly what we're talking about. You need to shut off social media advice, stuff, input, and allow your brain to sink down deep. And that's where real value comes from, right? That's the only
It's
way
funny that
to
it's that
access
simple.
real value.
Where people don't even realize how it'll take over your life and your relationships.
Well, it's
And
new. It's too new.
It's not that new,
It's
though.
so
It's
new.
super new.
It's so
I
new.
guess it is.
like
You're
one-
right.
and we'll all
19, what is it,
figure
like
shit out.
1994 is the internet,
Okay,
right? That's
yeah.
like the main spread of the internet, 94.
I remember when we had
That's
Juno.
nothing.
Juno, and it was like electron. It wasn't email yet. Even
Yeah.
it was just like
But do you understand that this is only like 10 years old?
that's
Yeah.
that is
Like,
crazy.
With the iPhones,
Right.
This is what didn't they just go through the 10th anniversary of the iPhone? That's when it started.
Yeah.
Before that, there were no apps. Okay,
Right.
so if there's no apps, there's
Do you
no
remember
Twitter,
the snake
there's no
game
Facebook.
on your phone? The snake game where it goes, it like you just had arrows and you had to get the snake through this maze.
I don't play games on the phone. No.
Joe, come on.
No, I
It
don't
was
play
a
games
thing,
on the
Joe.
phone.
You really missed out.
I did.
Okay, I'm sorry to
What about
tell
Fart
you.
Ninja? Wait, what was it
So,
called? Puzzle
10
farter? You heard of
10
that?
years.
Puzzle farter.
No.
Joe, come
Puzzle
on.
farter?
Yeah.
Jamie, if you find that, I swear to God, you're like, oh my God, it's
Is it
amazing.
worth something?
It was a thing. Oh my God, when we did our first
It
record
might have just been a thing with us.
with us, Puzzle
Yeah.
Farter, you take
Never
this little
heard
character
of it. Did you hear of it?
and you propel him with his own farts with your space bar and your arrows, and you think it sounds stupid, but you play your first game and you're just laughing.
I love how Joe
Oh
has...
my God!
Boom.
Wow, they
Joe has
found
Neil
it.
deGrasse Tyson, and then he has us on talking about
Puzzle
puzzle farter.
farter.
Hey, live your truth. This
So you
is
can
who we
play
are.
this online?
Well, this is actually something that brought us a lot of joy. Just start demo
It
levels.
seems like you can play
Give it to us,
Oh my
Jamie.
God, you can play it online?
Get it.
Got to get some sound.
You gotta.
Let's-
There's something
Okay.
Listen, we're
Okay.
not doing this. We're not going to play Puzzle Farter. Jamie's going to operate the controls and play Puzzle Farter.
Didn't I? Well, one day, challenge yourself. It's a lot of fun.
I just don't think people are used to the idea of being alone anymore without these devices,
Sure.
and that's only been around for 10 years.
It's a lot of false comfort.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
but I think there's also there's all these different disorders and things that they're coming up with, like, you know, young kids and their identity with Instagram and how it reflects their self-worth and how many likes they get and who liked their photos, and like it's really scary.
I was
it's
looking at an
really
article
intense.
today where they
Yeah.
were saying that girls as early as 9 years old are
Yeah.
getting surgery to make their vaginas look better.
Shut the fuck
No.
up. That's not true.
Yes.
Really?
They might be making it up just so I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think we should. I think that
How do
sounds
you know
No,
what a
no,
good
no,
vagina
it's
looks like when
questionable.
you're 9
I think
years
it's in the
old?
Daily Mail, so it might be questionable. But
whose parents.
but I know that vagina
what mom and dad
surgeries,
are gonna-
like aesthetic vagina surgeries,
God.
are on the rise.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they didn't exist like.
I
how many
remember
years
there was a
ago?
trend when you would dye your pubes blue and put bedazzled
that was just
little,
you. That
little
was just you. This is no trend.
No,
Vagina
it was a thing.
surgery.
It
It's
was
like
the-
that
Ben,
fart,
you know all about
fart
this.
I
puzzle.
know what you're talking about.
Vagina
we swim in the
surgery.
same pond.
This is
Sue.
the BBC, guys.
Come on.
That can't be right.
No, but scroll
Seeking
back down so
surgery
you
into
see
genitalia.
look at that headline: vagina surgery sought by girls as young as 9.
I mean, vaginas are crazy looking.
Okay, but how? Okay, here's the thing:
So
bunch
are
of people
dicks.
got
So we're
fired.
dicks.
Dicks are
I mean,
weird. They're
no,
all
you're right.
weird.
You're right, but it's a lot harder
Don't
to
discriminate.
operate. Sorry to interrupt, Joe.
A bunch
Harder
of
to
people got
operate a
fired.
vagina? I beg to differ.
No, to operate on a dick than a vagina. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
All
I'm
right,
gonna
yeah,
stop.
when we really making judgment calls here on what's more.
I really hope your mom doesn't listen
One
to
of
this.
these things that we know nothing about is more difficult.
No, it feels right. though.
Operating on body parts.
It feels right.
How do you know? Like this. Here's the thing, man. Like CNN just got busted for they fired a bunch of people for writing some story about Trump and Russia that wasn't true. You hear about that? Like people get like super overzealous trying to make a story real when they didn't do like all the background work that was necessary. People get, like that's why Trump can get away with calling CNN fake news, right?
Sure.
Because they're doing shit
Because
like
they're doing desperado shit. They're getting into that blurry area where they're doing things that are just a little bit sensational, a little sensationalism, and they're trying to get people to pay attention.
Yeah. And the
How do we
pace,
know that
right?
that's not the case here? Like when you see something
Sure.
like that, I'm sure women are getting vagina surgeries. We've heard of it.
Of
We know it's
course.
a real thing. So, but when you see as early as 9, like, man, if that's not instant clickbait, like that probably saying as young as 9, that might be worth fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. I'm
And
just
they could
taking
say
a
if
guess.
there's one case of this, they could point to that as a reference and say, "We'll see."
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
this is,
I would
this
Well,
is
think
the
my-
absurdity of a young child, anyone like looking at their vagina in any kind of pleasurable way is totally fucked up. So why would a kid care about the appearance of their vagina? Do you know what I mean? Like that, none of this makes sense.
Well, exactly. I
I'm-
mean, what's even creepier is you cut baby
This makes me
dicks
angry.
to make them look better for Jesus.
I did that for Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
For Jesus.
Not to be too vulnerable here, but
Yeah.
the other day, I for the first time in my life saw my circumcision scar. I was like, "Holy shit, that's what that is."
How did it
Wow.
make you feel?
It was intense. I was like, someone cut my dick off.
They're doing it right now.
Part of it.
As we're talking.
Yeah.
They're cutting baby
And
dicks
I
all over
didn't-
this country
you know,
in
it just-
2017. They're just
just happened.
slicing baby dicks for no reason.
There's so many things I want to say, and I just want to keep them to myself at this
Why?
point because I should.
Well, if you want to say them, I feel like you don't want to keep them to yourself.
I'm gonna
Is
pass.
it about baby dicks
No, it's about
or is it
circumcised.
unrelated?
Okay,
Yeah, there we
what
go.
else is going on, guys? How's that
You're gonna
Jack
go for it.
Daniels
Okay.
single barrel?
It's fine. You don't have to go. I know where you're going. You don't have to say a word.
But okay,
Yeah.
I was about to turn the mulch over.
It's an aesthetic thing.
Yeah, but just because you fucking
Sometimes
used
I
to
forget
it.
that
It's
this
'cause
is
you're
being
used to it.
broadcast and we're not just hanging out as
Should
friends.
just stop talking,
I
and
know.
we would
And then-
we would not have to think about
Then
it
I feel
over and over again.
self-aware.
Just gonna focus on my Joe action figure.
I mean, how much if a BBC News article like that probably gets like 1 million hits, right? Am I being
Probably not.
maybe a lot of hits, right? So how much is that worth? Like if you can guarantee 50% more hits, is it worth thousands of dollars? Like how much do they get?
Oh,
They
yeah,
get paid
much
by
more
the
than that.
ads that are on their website, right?
When
There's
I'm
like-
on the computer and I'm like, looking at something and then there's those, distractify kind of things
oh yeah,
and I click on them because I'm curious. I just feel so bad about myself. I just feel like such a piece of shit. Like you should be doing something better with your time, Suzanne, than looking at, I don't know,
You know what it's
before
like?
and after pictures of, you know what I mean? Like who
those
cares?
articles are like having phone sex with a robot.
Yeah.
It's like you never get anything out of it.
But you're
keep
getting
changing
fucked.
the
Speak for
channels.
yourself,
You're like,
dude.
this is weird. Like there's no real. It's not a real article. Like if you read the
It's-
18 hot women from the 80s, you should see them now.
Right.
And and you go through them, and it's like, who's writing this? Like no one's.
But
even,
who benefits from? I'm curious. Like just beyond the veil. Like what is the point? Does someone get paid for you clicking that button?
Yeah.
yeah,
That sucks.
100%.
You're
Yeah, I
directing
hate
traffic.
that. I hate that.
But it's the same shit. I mean, like, why do people buy fucking Doritos? It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you hate about it though?
Because I want to use my time and energy wisely and not waste it on things like that. Because I'd rather like sit with my phone off and my computer off or learn something that is beneficial.
Right.
I think that's just wasteful. That's junk food.
It is, but so's Doritos. But Doritos taste good.
Yeah, but they have healthy
They're very
Doritos.
good.
They have like they have like
Taco Bell
vegan.
tacos. The shell is a Dorito.
They have that one. My favorite chip at
Sorry for shouting.
365 / Whole Foods is like it's like a bean chip and it tastes like Doritos and it's not.
Wait a minute. What's 365 / Whole Foods?
There's in Glendale in California, in
It's
Los
called
Angeles.
365.
Yeah, so it's like
not
a
just Whole
cheaper
Foods?
Whole Foods. It's like the brand 365 when you go to Whole Foods.
Huh.
Whole
Yeah.
Foods started an outlet
It's an outlet
Oh, okay.
store.
for the poor kids.
I didn't know what that was.
It's for everybody. I'm just kidding.
It's out there.
Okay.
It's out there.
Yeah,
Joe. It's
check it
real.
out. Give it. Take it for a spin.
So what were you saying about it?
No, but they have like these. They have these chips.
They have
Bean.
Dorito substitutes.
They
is
taste
what
like
you're saying.
Doritos, and I fucking love them. They're delicious.
You know what I think's adorable? Trans fats are fucking terrible for you, right? They're horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And the government has decided to outlaw trans fats
Right.
in 2 years. They're like, yeah, you can eat poison for 2
Yeah.
years.
Do you think it's
You guys just
interesting?
get ruthless diarrhea and just shallow
God,
calories, and a
that's
lot of people are
awful.
going to die because of obesity because you're addicted to sucking down these things.
What about the workers of the trans
when you go
fat
to
industry?
Canada, they have their Heinz ketchup, and we have our Heinz ketchup. And the Canadian Heinz ketchup does not have high fructose corn syrup.
What does it have? Sugar?
I don't know, but it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup because it's
And it's gross.
banned. It tasted differently, and I liked it. I'm not kidding. I think that's interesting that like right on the other side of this border, they have better ketchup.
Well, they have better Coca-Cola in Mexico.
They do.
They use cane sugar.
That's true.
Right?
That's
Tastes
true.
better?
I mean, I don't really drink Coca-Cola, but
It does taste better.
it's just interesting what the FDA approves in our country for the food that we eat.
They don't give a fuck
They don't
about
give a
us.
shit. No,
they
of
don't
course
give
not.
a fuck. All
No.
those government agencies are a bunch of puppets when it comes to diet and exercise and what you're allowed to put in cigarettes and what you're allowed to put in
Yeah.
all sorts of different drugs that get passed. It is fucking bananas that we were talking about Nevada just became legal for
Right.
marijuana. It's fucking bananas.
Yeah.
How it took until 2017 where states finally started making weed legal while people are dropping off left and right
Right.
from opiate pills. Like there was a study that that Dr. Hart, is that his name? It's on my my
Stephen
Twitter.
Hart?
I tweeted it earlier today or last night. But it was 93% of patients that have pain preferred cannabis over opioids.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Opioids or opiates? How do
Well,
you say
they're-
it?
They,
Opiates?
yeah,
Opioids.
I can attest to that. They,
Of course.
I mean, menstrual cramps are debilitating for some ladies, I'll be honest. And that's why I got my weed license, because it like is night and day.
Wow.
Tell them about the thing.
Well, they have. Sure, I don't care. I feel comfortable. They have
Let's have a fake edit
suppositories
here.
that you put in your
Whoa,
twinkle.
hey.
That just
They get you high as fuck?
no, they don't get you. I mean, they make this warm, wonderful feeling in your belly that is the antithesis of writhing in pain and being out of commission for a day. Which
Wow.
happens every month. I get 1 or 2 days where I'm just down. I'm in so much pain. I can't do anything. And it's awful. But weed has been the best thing that's happened for that ailment. Whereas you take
Wow.
Motrin, and you can take Motrin, but it can give you a terrible stomachache because it's really bad. It's really bad for your liver, and and you're taking like just handfuls of Motrin.
And Advil, like all those things.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but it's
non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Those things are super bad for your body.
But
And
it's interesting that that's what you would take as opposed to having weed legal in all of its different medicinal facets that can help you.
the difference is obviously there's a psychoactive effect that's probably unwanted for a lot of people that take Advil. They just want to get rid of the headache. They don't want to
Right.
trip their fucking balls off.
Right.
You know? But
Right.
that's where like CBDs come in.
Yeah, they're great. They're
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
But apparently some people
Big
take
fan.
CBDs and they experience some sort of a psychoactive effect. I've talked to quite a few people that say that. I don't understand that. Maybe they're getting stuff that's like weird. It's probably got pot
I think
in it.
wonder if
that
there's-
I think that too. I think some of the recipes, like I've definitely gotten edibles that were duds, and you have too. It's just like, I think they missed something. It's still sort of like a primitive market.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of the companies, and you see some of them like come in and come out just like boom, 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 like new restaurants didn't
Right.
make it. I think there's definitely a search for more reliable product in that regard. But and we're also so different. Like
People react to weed so differently.
I'm terrible with
You're an
weed.
example of
Yeah,
that.
you blow
'Cause
my mind.
I feel like last time we talked, you told me not to blow up your spine, but at one point you took 1,000 milligrams. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've done
that's
that a couple of
fucking
times.
insane. If I take 10 milligrams, I'm fucked.
Yeah, but I can't hang with Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz will take 1,000 and then he'll eat 250 more in front of you and laugh at you.
insane.
Well, I told you that story when we were at Coachella, and I accidentally took a 25 milligram Jolly Rancher because it was a hard candy. You don't just bite it
Yeah,
in
how
half.
you
And my
gonna
friends were like,
do
"You
that?"
took the whole thing," and I was like, "Yeah." And I lost my mind watching Radiohead. This was years ago, and coincidentally ran into Gary Clark Jr. And I was like, "Gary, you gotta help me." And I was like, help me find Ben. And like I was like just losing my mind. And then I found.
I bet he was super helpful.
Ben. But I told you
Gary's
that
so
story,
smooth.
Joe, and you were like, "Fuck that! I take 25 milligrams and go to the movies." And I was like, "Okay, well, you are very tough."
Well, this is the point. Is
But
that,
I
like,
am not.
there's no consistency. Like you get your 25 milligram, and it's also a matter of how much you take and how often you take it.
Yeah.
And I definitely didn't say it like that.
No, you're so cool. No, you were so
Little bit,
you were
honestly,
so
like check the tape.
Check the tape.
no,
It's a
you were
funny
a
thing
total
that
gentleman about it.
People do like to brag about how much they could take, me included.
I
They'd
can't.
be like, "Bitch, I'll take that whole candy." No, you won't. Fuck yeah, I will. Let's go on a journey. Let's go on a journey, pussy. Joey Diaz is a horrible person, though. Joey will take these Chiba Chews, and he'll take the ones that have 500 milligrams.
No,
and he'll
no.
swap the package for one
How
that
dare
has
you.
75 milligrams.
Oh,
That's
And he'll give it
amazing.
to somebody. He doesn't give a fuck, and he'll laugh because he knows you're gonna live. Like,
so
everybody
funny.
lives. Everybody lives.
We had a friend. We had a
Yeah,
friend
you
who
lived through
said
misery.
he ate an edible, and he
that?
slept for 24 hours. I'm not
Whoa.
going to say who.
Yeah,
but
people
Oh,
do.
right. Sorry.
yeah, we had a friend. Right?
I don't remember what you're talking about.
It was
Because I'm so high.
you know who I'm talking about.
No, I don't, but it's all right.
Okay, well, a friend of yours had never had weed before, and someone gave him an edible, and he slept for like 24 hours and woke up like an entire day later.
That totally
Weed
happens.
fucks you up.
If you don't do it all the time, if you're not
It's
used
intense.
to it, yeah.
I felt more high on edibles than I have like taking mushrooms. But
For
I didn't
sure.
take that many mushrooms.
But it's a very intense psychoactive experience
It
when you
is.
take an edible.
It is.
Yeah, I've said this so many times, I apologize in advance. But your body produces something called 11-hydroxy metabolite. It's processed when THC is processed by your liver. It's 5 times more psychoactive than THC. It's a way different drug. And it's not psychoactive when you smoke it.
Okay.
So like when you're smoking pot, your body's not producing the 11-hydroxy metabolite. But when you process it with your liver, your body produces this intense psychedelic drug. Like, you can have, when you eat weed and then close your eyes, you have some of the craziest fucking visuals that match up there. As long as you have enough, they go up right up to everything. They go right up to mushrooms. You can have like these mini DMT trips if you.
Oh, I smoked DMT with weed once.
Ooh.
It was insane.
Ooh.
How about that?
It changed my life.
When did you do
Did
this?
it really?
This is a couple years ago.
Oh.
And a good friend of mine, and I took one hit, and it was like 0 to 100. It was just like you exhaled and then you just take off. And I mean, I'd never smoked DMT before, and I'm very sensitive to weed. So I was high for like 2-3 hours. I was so, and at one point, we were sitting on a balcony, and I was watching the street, and it flipped into like negative, like a photograph, like the colors changed.
Wait a minute. This is like you smoked the DMT, and then how many minutes later is this happening?
This was in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So that was when it was most intense. Yeah.
So you kept your eyes open.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Should I close my eyes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, tell me how to do it. I don't know.
It sounds like you took a small dose if you took one hit.
No, I took a couple hits.
You took a
but
couple
my
hits.
first hit, it was just like
So
literally
right away.
like, it was like Star Wars when it just goes into warp speed.
Yeah.
Where you're like, like, it was insane. And
DMT's got a weird threshold thing that happens, and it's like
tell me everything.
3 hits in.
What happened to
There's
me?
something about three hits in is when reality dissolves. For most people, that's what they say, 3 hits.
Okay.
And if you took like 1 or 2, you get crazy visuals, you get weird, freaky stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't go to the alien dimension.
Yes, I did.
You did.
I totally
so
did.
You took enough. So did you close your eyes while you were there, or did you
No,
have
I
them
could.
open?
Well, it was nighttime, so I could see the stars.
Wow.
And at one point, I went completely deaf.
Ooh.
All the sounds just went, and I was watching a moving street, and I couldn't hear anything. Whoa. It was intense.
How high up were you?
Just a couple stories.
Were you worried about freaking out and trying to fly?
No. I was on the ride.
Ooh.
Wait, tell me more.
That's the big fear, right? The big fear is like someone taking a psychedelic and they're on a balcony. Like Bill Hicks used to have a bit about that.
Okay.
Young man on acid, thought he could fly, leapt tragically to his death.
Oh,
what a tragedy.
Scary.
He goes, what a dick.
Still here.
He goes, if you thought he could fly, why didn't he take off from the ground first? He goes, we just lost a moron.
That's awful. Oh, boy.
It was great.
Oh, God.
And then he had a positive drug story. Yeah, which you never do here. Yeah. It is interesting. I don't like to say that the news is fake, because it's not fake. It's like they're doing the best they can. They vet themselves the best they can, and they definitely fuck up. And definitely people get ambitious. But it is kind of interesting that they only tell you like sanctioned things. Like you're never going to see like a whole Fox News article on the benefits of psychedelic drugs and how it could change your consciousness,
right,
and how Suzanne smoked pot with Duncan Trussell with DMT laced in it, and they went on
It was not
a
Duncan
journey
Trussell.
through but it could be. You know what I'm saying?
I did take mushrooms with Duncan once, though.
I'm sure.
It was amazing.
If you haven't,
it
you
was
haven't
the first.
lived.
It was like the first time I'd ever like really been high on mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I saw my grandfather.
Ooh, that's intense.
Yeah, we should talk about that another time.
I saw my grandfather once on weed. Ooh, I ate an edible and then had a dream, and the dream was really intense. And I was talking to my grandfather. It was really weird. Like I hadn't seen him in forever. He died when I was. I was in my 20s, and
did it feel real?
Oh yeah.
Did you guys spend a lot of time together when he was alive?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, he was. He used to take me fishing and stuff like that. He was a really nice guy, and just took care of my grandmother for the last like 12 years of her life. She had a stroke, and then he had to take care of her for like a long time. She had an aneurysm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I lived with them at that time because I'd moved from Boston to New York. I didn't have a place to stay. So I lived with my grandfather and my grandmother in New Jersey, and it was just a super dark time. But
how old were you?
24.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere around then. And it made me realize, like really intensely, that this life does not last. Like, in that you have to really be appreciative of health in your movement, your ability to move, and your ability to experience things.
Totally.
And it just seems so. It seems like such a given. And because it's such a given, and we get wrapped up in so many different things, it's super easy to lose touch with that. You know, to be happy. Like I was talking to a really good friend of mine who's going through a divorce, and he started getting all bummed out about it and this and that. And I was like, look, man, you are so lucky. You're happy. You're healthy. You're alive. You have a bunch of great friends. Like, you're going to be fine. Like, this is all going to be fine. Like, this is like a little journey you're going to go through. And it's all in, like, how you look at it, how you approach this journey, how you're going to come out of it on the other end. But being a young guy and living with my grandmother when she was dying, and my grandfather when he had to take care of her, and seeing the both of them, like, struggle, it was intense.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you feel like when you had this psychedelic experience where you saw your grandfather, like, does that, to you, is that like a real experience of him being somewhere else and communicating with you, or? It's
probably just an ego trip. It's probably just me thinking that I could recreate my memory. But what was interesting about it is the memories were so intense. They were so realistic. They were like my grandfather. Like, he used to talk, and like he used to behave. He was always a very, very gentle man, a very gentle guy with a very, like, easy way about him. Like, he was a really interesting guy, and he was like that in the dream. He was that guy in the dream.
Well, it makes sense too if you go through a really impactful time. It just digs those grooves deep.
I'm sure.
In your brain.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's
wild.
And I had it once with Phil Hartman too. Super intense. The Phil Hartman one was super intense. It was years after he died, like maybe more than 10. And in the dream, he was sitting in a lawn chair, and somehow or another, he was telling me what life was like after his wife had killed himself, or killed him, and then killed herself. It was really intense. And I was like, somehow or another, I was talking to him from this, like, next stage of existence. But the next stage of existence, it wasn't heaven, and it wasn't the DMT dimension. It was like a picnic. It was like there was a lawn, and it was like a bunch of people hanging out, and he was just laughing and joking around and being jovial about things. And he was just talking about, we talked about that, like about him and the wife after she shot him and killed him. He was like joking around in my dream.
That's incredible.
About, we had to have a conversation about that.
Wow.
You know, it was like, wow. It was so crazy. It was so intense because it was so real, and it was him. And he fell backwards in his chair, like laughing, like fell backwards in his chair, almost like a pratfall. And then he was gone. And then the dream was gone. And then it all went away, and I woke up. Because it was so intense, I woke up. And I was like, whoa, that really felt like I was talking to Phil. Like, it didn't feel like just a memory. It really felt like I was talking to Phil. Huh. But again, what is that? Is that an ego trip? Is that your imagination?
No,
is that
I believe
your memory?
in that stuff.
Do you?
I do.
Are you all in?
I'm in because I've had experience. No, I mean, I think there's a lot of bullshit with. You need to be skeptical from the external people that try to tell you stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But I've definitely had people help me understand what all that shit means when I've had dreams like that.
Yeah.
With my deceased relatives, and they told me things, and then they happened, and it could be your ego, but I
don't think that makes it less real though. If it's your ego or your mind, creating a scenario with a loved one or whatever. That's I don't think that's less real than the idea of this spirit re-embodying, I don't know, some sort of physical form or whatever. I think it's both. They're both kind of valid.
And things. it's energy. I think it's an exchange of energy, and we've definitely been in places where we felt like not alone. And we weren't high. We were, you have those moments where, like, your instincts and your intuition are, like, aware of external things that you can't see, but you can feel, and maybe you can see them. We've seen a ghost once.
Can I just address what you just said, though? Mm-hmm. But there is a difference, right? There is a difference because one of them is your imagination, and one of them is you talking to a ghost. There's a huge difference because one of them, it means ghosts are real. And the other one, it just means your imagination is real, which you're absolutely 100% aware of, right? So we know people have ridiculous imaginations. They dream and imagine things constantly.
Sure.
Right.
So there is a big difference between the two of them. Because one of them gives you a view into a mystical world that doesn't in the eyes of science. it doesn't seem to make sense, right? It doesn't seem to want to exist. If there's another world where people can come back from the dead and talk to you and have conversations with you. But one of the arguments that I've always used with psychedelic drugs is that if you feel like in a psychedelic experience you went to heaven and had a conversation with God, or you went to another dimension and talked to the infinite wisdom that controls the cells of the universe, if you did do that, or if you took the drugs and felt like you did that, it's the same experience. Like, that's the difference. It's like, I don't know if God's real, and I don't know what the fuck happens when you take psychedelic drugs, but god damn, it feels similar.
Sure.
Like, there's moments where you have intense psychedelic trips where you really do believe you're in the presence of like this pure wisdom and pure love that sees you in a way that is undeniable, and you can't argue
it. I think it's a gateway. I don't know. I think sometimes it's your ego, sometimes it's some weird shit in your brain, and sometimes I think it's real. I think it's very complicated.
It is complicated, but my point is they're the same experience. If you're talking to God, or if you're talking to your imagination that creates this God, it's for that brief moment in those 15 minutes, it's the same experience. Now, I don't know if that's enough, but that's something. Like, I don't know, like, what your old time on Earth is just time, right? Your time on Earth is just, you have a limited, finite amount. You got 100 years if you're fucking super lucky and you got good genes, and that's a wrap, right? So this is just, we have this little time thing. But during those 15 minutes, which is a small amount of time, but the whole life's small, during those 15 minutes, you are absolutely experiencing something divine. Now, is that in your imagination? Is that you finding some portal to another dimension? Is that the reason why your brain produces these chemicals in the first place? Is because we transition during the time of death into this new realm? Is that it?
But if your concept of what divinity is includes all of that stuff, it gets to be both, right?
Sure, but I mean, like, there's a real problem with defining something that you just can't define. Like, the whole problem with psychedelic trips, I don't know, like, I don't know if for you guys feel this way, but for me, it's always like, whenever I tell somebody about it, I'm like, why even use words? Like, the words don't work.
Right.
They're not enough.
Yeah.
They're not enough. You could scramble them together and say them perfect and scream them from a rooftop.
When you use the words, too, it can almost, like, demean the experience.
Diminish,
or just
right?
Diminish, thank
Yeah.
you. Sorry.
Well, that's when we're kind of
Hello.
pushing against the limits of language.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think there's such a wide array of people's theories and beliefs and thoughts, and they're all valid because there's no agreed upon language to say, okay, this is how we all feel and this is how we're doing it.
Right.
You know, it's similar. I always go back to music with this stuff, but there's a similar pathway and trend in music where people are constantly redefining the language of it. And, you know, there's a kind of a mainstream openness to that, or there isn't. But the idea, the point is the language is dynamic, you know, and it goes on to continuously try and express something that's kind of inexpressible.
Yeah.
And that's why it acts as a magnet for people's thought, because they say, okay, this is kind of our pathway of experimentation to understand these phenomena. Does
Well,
that
it's
make
like
sense?
mainstream's like the fast food of music a little bit, and then there's some more obscure like restaurants off the beaten path that you've never
Yeah,
tasted
sure.
anything like that.
And they're developing the vocabulary that most people are like, that fucking tastes gross. I'm not eating a cricket. You know what I mean? But in 50 years, you know, that vocabulary kind of seeps its way in if it has value.
I always felt like, I mean, you guys are the musicians, but I always felt like what music sort of is almost like a vessel that the artist fills with emotion and with like passion, and it's almost like it doesn't even matter what the words are sometimes. Sometimes it does, because those words and the feeling behind them enhance the song. But like Voodoo Child, perfect example. Like, there's like a lot of the lyrics aren't particularly profound. Like, the night I was born, say the moon turned.
I don't even know the lyrics. I just know the
Blood Red
feeling of the
Gypsy
song.
Woman.
Like,
Yeah.
I just feel the song.
Yeah, it's just about being a bad motherfucker. I was born a bad motherfucker, bitch. I mean, that's
really
basically
was.
what he was. He wasn't lying.
Who can argue that,
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Staring me in the eyes.
They say the
He's
moon turned
really
to
looking
fire
right
red
at
on the
us.
night I was born. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
profound, right? But when you hear him say it with that guitar behind it, with those emotions, it carries that song. It's
But-
like,
Yeah. And
That's
what's profound is the it's part of a lineage. You know what I mean? That's a proclamation, and that's part of blues music, and that's part of African music, and that's part of all this stuff. You're just like, I'm a fucking man or woman or whatever. I'm a human. Boom, here it is. So I think,
yeah, but it's more than that with him. What he's saying is he's a voodoo child. I mean, he's basically claiming some Robert Johnson type shit. The night I was born, the moon turned a fire red. You know.
Yeah.
Did he write that song? Are we certain?
Who, Voodoo Child?
I don't know who wrote it.
Okay, well, because
but
like
he
didn't write like All Along the Watchtower, right? That's Bob Dylan. Yeah.
But this, because his grandmother was a Native American, so he has all this like.
I want to leave my chair down.
There's two versions too. There's one version that's like the real bluesy version of Voodoo Child. You know, there's the Voodoo Child Slight Return, and then there's that other version which is like much more acoustic. Or much more guitar driven. Yeah, man. Like guitar sounds is a perfect example. Like Gary Clark Jr. is a perfect example. Like when he came and played with you guys on stage, and I saw you guys downtown a few months back. Dude, when he gets on stage, his sound is Gary Clark Jr. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like you guys were singing Midnight Rider, which was fucking amazing.
Did he have pedals with him, or did he just plug in?
No, he just took my guitar and just playing it straight in.
Dude. But that sound is like a sound that you instantly, like Stevie Ray Vaughan had it, Hendrix had, like a sound you instantly recognize, like one of his riffs.
Yeah.
Crazy. How does someone do that? Right? Because
that's kind of what we're talking about as far as vocabulary too.
Right.
You know, you say, and maybe this happens in fighting. I imagine it does. You know, people have techniques or whatever that they slowly turn into their own thing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them.
Well, and they're derivative of a lot of things, of a lot of different techniques. So then you kind of have this like, at least for music, I'll speak for myself. I just feel like I have this like garble of stuff that just, when people are like, how would you describe your sound? It's so awkward because you're not like, I sound just like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
like
such
Yeah, you can't make. What do you sound like? I can't do this. I gotta leave.
Well, it's like,
don't ask me that question.
What kind of comedy are you, Joe Rogan?
I did a radio show last week where a guy asked me to make him laugh.
Oh, fuck that.
What did you do, Joe Rogan?
I said, well, that's not going to happen.
Did you tickle him?
I said, what are you, a child? Make me laugh?
That made me laugh.
It's so ridiculous. Someone calls up on the phone, they're a singer, you're like, sing me a song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People do that all the time.
That's really
People
good.
are like,
Ready
oh, you're a
to go.
singer? Let's hear you sing.
Fuck
and it's, I mean, you just, I don't know. It's a funny feeling. Well, it's humbling. It's super humbling because it's like, sometimes
Why is it humbling? You're talking to a twat.
Well, no, you're talking to someone who doesn't understand.
Well, they're being a twat.
And sure, but like, I don't know. I feel like the need to like even connect with the twats sometimes and just say, hey,
I feel that need.
I'll
That's
sing
deep.
for you. If you
That's
don't like
deep.
it, that's fine. I'll sing for you. That's fine. I'm not above that.
Connection
but
to the twats is deep.
That was my chair. Swear to God.
We always feel the need to recreate that sound. Like, let me just move it again like that.
One more time.
Let everybody know.
I would tell you.
Yeah.
Just sneak over us.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
That's weird.
There's no need for
That's
somebody
weird.
to ask that
No.
question.
Well, you know.
And it's just lazy entertaining.
It's also that job of being
It's
like the radio
patronizing.
host is a tough fucking job. It's
Sure.
You get 3 minutes to talk to someone you never talked to before, and maybe you're not so good at it. And DJs on radio stations nowadays, they're not even really DJs anymore. They don't get to pick the fucking songs. Who the fuck lets you pick the songs? One dude, fuck that.
Some
We
of
got a
them do.
focus group.
There's some big daddies out
But
there.
not
Come
on the,
on,
like when it
come
comes to
on. How
commercial
many?
radio.
Yeah,
How many?
well, there's like
playlists
10 stations across the nation that are still public radio, like
Kevin and Bean Camp.
KCRW. Like, doesn't Jason Bentley like pick his shit?
Yeah, but that's a unique thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's still some people that are holding court. It's like Game of Thrones.
Whoa.
Just knocking bitches out.
But I think it has to be small stations where not a lot of people are paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. Because the big ones, they need the money that's going to dictate the playlist. But that doesn't mean you still can't. If that part of your job as a DJ is even taken away, then what is your fucking job? To be interesting on the air.
They can't do that.
Yeah, and if
Do you know how they get ratings? This is the most hilarious thing, or they did, at least until recently. They still do the Arbitron shit? Is that how they do the radio ratings? The way they do it is they hand out books. and they ask people to fill out the books. Tell us what you were listening to and when you were listening to it. So what do you get? You get the opinion of assholes that are willing to fill out those fucking books. Who's going to fill out that book? They're going to give you that book, and you go, what? I got shit to do. I'm not filling out this fucking radio book.
But isn't
it's
it?
like, sorry.
No, you.
It's like, so our first record had a single called Little Toy Gun. And
Yeah,
when that
great
was
song.
They
Love
were,
that.
They were testing that. I guess maybe it's different now. I don't know. They were calling people like potential listeners, kind of like a Nielsen vibe a little, and they would play them a bunch of songs and be like, whoa, do you like it? Like literally over the phone, you'd hear like 20 seconds of a song, and you give it the thumbs up or thumbs down. And that's
so
how you're
funny.
getting the ratings. That's what defines whether our song was successful or not.
It's so different now, though. There's like, now you've got internet radio that's free, so people don't have to pay for it. They don't have to call in. They just have to listen, and that is monitored through. You know, you can measure that through Spotify or Pandora or Apple Music, and like I have a single out right now that came out a month ago, and it's doing
Shameless
really
plug.
well. It's doing really well.
Suzanne.
But
What's it called? What's it?
It's called Ghost in My Bed. And it's doing better than I thought it would. I had no idea that it would be like jumping from playlist to playlist. This is our, we're doing solo projects
You
this
just
year.
didn't know how much of a fucking bad.
Shut up. But I looked at, it came out June 1st. I had like a couple hundred followers on Spotify, and like that week I got like 10,000, and then like the other week it was at like 37,000 followers. It blew my mind, and I have a PR team that's.
You have a team?
We got a team. I got a team, yeah, because I want to own my music. So I hired a publicist, a distributor, and you get your manufacturing, and that's really all you need is doing the fucking work.
Isn't that crazy to own your own shit? You got to hire a bunch of people.
Well, because record companies make you think that you need them, and you don't. Some of them are great.
What do they do now? Like, what's a record company good for today?
It depends. If they're actually good at their job, they're good at fucking selling music.
Right.
But that's very rare, and that's hard to do.
And
for
it's not,
everybody.
It's a combination, though, because obviously, like, if the music's not good enough, it's not going to work, and if it is, great. But there's so many different, it's a labyrinth of. Oh no, we're gonna lose him.
Here we go.
Here we go. Ben's gonna be all
Ben's
smiles.
going deep.
Just play it cool. Play it cool.
You look great.
He's gonna be fine.
You're so funny when you smoke weed.
Did you just say that? Funny as in like fun?
Yeah.
Like the word fun is in the word fun?
Wait, is this a test?
I'm just
It's
saying
a
we have
Joe
it now.
Pesci
It's on the
moment.
internet. You said it. Yeah.
Did she say you're not funny? Is that what goes on?
No, we have a lot
Oh
of
my
fights
God,
when Ben
there's-
gets stoned. But I also love you and want you to be happy.
That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
You know this is live, right?
Yeah, sure do. Sure do. And Ben's mom might listen to it one day. Who knows?
No.
You guys are going deep with this.
Shit.
No, but in terms of the record companies and releasing music, they have. I mean, every artist is different. Every approach is different. But I think what's interesting is their jobs are becoming more and more obsolete because of the evolution of the industry.
But don't they try to take a piece of your music sales?
Oh,
your,
everything.
But
Everything.
your
And that-
concert sales, they try to take a
depends
piece
on
of
the deal.
It depends on the
how
deal.
much
Right,
leverage
but that's
you have.
really common, right? To take a piece of your concert sales, which it
It-
seems kind of crazy, the
it just-
live music.
It depends on your position, your situation.
Who was it that we had in? What musician was? Oh, Everlast was explaining it. Was he explaining
Shirley-
it? Was it Everlast? No, Shirley from Garbage.
Had a
Yeah,
cool.
Shirley
I
Manson.
listened to that,
Yeah.
and it was incredible. And she had a lot of really interesting
How
points.
cool is she?
So cool.
She might be like one of the coolest
They're
people
going
I've
to be
ever
here
interviewed.
soon.
Damn.
Garbage and is it Hole are
What?
performing
Oh,
at the
Jesus.
Bowl.
Did you ever see that
Hole at the Bowl?
the documentary that said that Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain?
Yeah.
I started to watch it
Feel
with my
dirty,
mom
right?
and dad.
Feel dirty for watching that. You feel like those
I've got
ads.
the-
It was
it's like that
intense.
there was a journals they put out
Yeah,
Kurt Cobain's journals
they were
when I was
reading
like
the
a
journals,
teenager,
and I was with my
and I
parents,
was
and I
like
couldn't
I
handle
bought the book because I was such a huge fan, and I felt like shit. I was like, I should not be doing this. I don't want to read this dude's journals.
That dude changed the world. That was another one. Like, that guy had a sound. There was something going on. You know, when the light's out, it's less dangerous. I mean, come on, man. It's not the words. I mean, there's something to the words, but it's the way he's expressing those words.
Pick her, Joe.
So what's interesting about the icons of the decades, you get the 60s, like, okay, so the 50s were like, everything's perfect. We have the cleanest music, and we have a cookie cutter home, and this is the wife, and this is the husband, and this was like the generation after World War II of like, everything's fine. we're cool. We just came back from war. We're going to make a lot of babies, right? Okay, the 50s. And there's this like total disillusionment of, well, no, it was more survival, I think. But then the 60s are like people trying to feel more, and that was when psychedelics were coming in.
But the 50s was Elvis and all that stuff that was upending all those things.
Well, so
But let her get through
but
this.
he was pioneering that, though.
Right.
That was late 50s, right?
Continue.
And then going into the 60s of people, like there's this dichotomy of like, you know, the people kind of experiencing other areas of life that aren't this like sanitized version of society, and blossoming more into the 70s of just like harder rock, you know, sonically speaking, you know, you're going into Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and Alice Cooper. The 80s are interesting. That the glam of the 80s, I can't really help me out with the significance of like what that meant to people. I think it kind of went back to a little more of this like pristine version of people in society, I feel like.
Well, let me give you the clean version of what a lot of people believe happened.
Okay.
Drugs became illegal.
Okay.
The 1970 Sweeping
Help
Drug
me. This is
Legislations
great.
Act, the Schedule
Okay.
1 Act from Richard Nixon, as soon as it became illegal to possess anything, whether
Okay.
it's marijuana, which was illegal for a long time, mushrooms, it
Right.
was really hard to do drugs. And you just got this massive drop off in the creativity
Right.
of music in the 80s.
Well, and then
I mean,
that
it just-
grunge was the anger
Yeah,
that
right.
was you know, the product of that disillusionment.
Well, they grew up with Reagan on TV, and they
Yeah,
didn't,
that's fucking
they didn't
crazy.
want plastic. They just wanted everything to be like flannel, and they
and I
wanted
think
to rain
people
every
needed
day.
that. People needed
Yeah.
that truth. They needed that reality and that like expression of.
So what do we
they
need
were,
now?
I think we need so many different things.
Needs now is love.
We always
Sweet
need love. We always need love. But I think right now we're so complicated and in our individual rights, but all, you know, I don't know. People need so many different things now.
Well, you can't really say that. It's. I mean, like. I'm saying, like. You
Tell
can't,
me why I can't say that.
I'm not saying you can't really say that. I'm not saying like it's so hard to say people need love or people need this or people need
Right.
education and people need, because it's, you can't really say that there's any one group of people.
Right.
There's so many groups of people.
But I do think
You know what I mean?
people
Yeah. At this
need to
point-
get pulled out of the just the spiraling of the phones and the stuff
Oh,
and the
for
social
sure.
media. And I think the only things that get them out of that are real inspiration. And I think real inspiration is the spectrum of that is very wide, whether it's just a folk song or it's like you're at a club and it's got that whole rhythm of electronic music and you're just with a group of people and you're having this like tribal collective thing. Cool. I
Like
think
The Matrix, too.
that's why I feel like you ask what people need. I don't know. Everyone needs something different.
Yeah, no, you're totally
you
right
know,
there.
and whatever that is, I think it just needs to inspire them.
Well, we just need to, you know, as a group, recognize that we're all so fucking different, and we got to stop trying to fit everybody into these little packages.
Right. Well, that's like the pronouns of your friend from Canada. He was just on the podcast.
Jordan Peterson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
He's a fascinating guy.
Yes.
Well, you know, he's dealing with a lot of like really weird political correct weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's a very thoughtful guy, a very well-spoken guy, but people want you to follow their guidelines for how you should think and communicate and what you should accept and what you should argue against or not argue against. And it becomes this weird sort of control game that goes on. And that's what's happening with a lot of people in this nation, this fine nation right now. People are realizing that they have control over people. So they're exerting that control. Almost the same way a person in power does. Like one of the things Abraham Lincoln said that was really brilliant, he said, most men can overcome adversity. I'm paraphrasing. He said, most men can overcome adversity. If you really want to test a man, give him success.
Right.
Which I thought was really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like for a lot of people, like that are in big positions of power, like the president of the United States, for a perfect example. Like the idea of him getting through that and not falling apart is way, like, you realize like what a bad
Insane.
motherfucker Obama was.
Holy shit.
Like, people have zero idea at how good Obama's composure was to get through that entire 8 years in the White House without one like really gross misstep. socially, right?
Yeah,
He didn't have one.
Well,
you
there's a-
that's I think there's a lot of people that would probably disagree with that, and I wouldn't agree with them. But I think that kind of
That's
highlights
just an
some of our
ideological thing, though.
point.
They would think that, you know, there was one thing that he said. He was joking around at that White House press correspondence dinner about the Jonas Brothers and about he has 2 words for them.
I don't remember that.
It was something about drones. What's the word? What kind of drones they use? What's the big name for the drone?
Oh God.
There's like another name for the drone. There's like a type of drone, isn't there?
R2D2.
But
Didn't he say that to them, to the Jonas Brothers? Yeah, he's got like a name. There's a name for one of the drones. It's one of the things that he said, and it was like, "Come on, man! You've killed like 84% civilians with drones, or
Yeah.
the United States has." Like to joke around
No, that's
about a
insensitive.
drone with someone who wants to date your daughter. Come on, man! Like, what was the?
Oh, wow, look how young he
Oh,
looks.
Predator
they'd send
drones.
a predator after them if they were
Wow,
fucking
look at
around.
him! Look at him!
So young.
Sasha and Malia are huge fans,
2010.
but boys don't get any ideas. I have 2 words for you: predator drones.
Damn.
It's bad.
That's intense.
You'll never see it coming. He's joking around about killing people.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people lost their children to predator drones while he was in office? A lot.
Wow.
A lot.
That's
Those
fucked up.
those things, they take. Look, the people that are trying to kill those terrorists out there and the ISIS members and all the different people that are doing horrible things like blowing up Ariana Grande concerts and all that kind of shit. I mean, the people that are trying to stop those people have an insanely difficult job.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But when you're shooting missiles out of robots
Right.
and you're killing
Right.
mostly innocent people, it's not like close. It's not like half and half.
Right.
Like they kill half bad guys, half good guys. No, they kill mostly
Right.
good people.
But it
And
kind
then-
of speaks. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
It speaks more to the position of the president as being a tough fucking job.
and the
because
face
you
of it.
you can't be a comedian, and a comedian can say
Right.
whatever
Yeah.
the fuck, and it's fine because you're a comedian or whatever.
I would have had better delivery than
But
that.
sure, I know.
Of course.
I'm
you would.
imagining it right now.
See it coming a mile away. I got 2 words for you. Oh, they're going to be funny words. It's just joking around about something that's it's dark. You know, it's like you'll never see it coming. Ha ha ha. Like a lot of those people that died, thousands. That's kind of fucked up. If you were living in a country where Obama was the guy who made the call and the missiles came from the drones and killed your dad, and you have to watch him joke around about
No.
shooting missiles at some kids who want to fuck your pretty good daughters. Whoa. That's we don't look at it that way because we're over here.
But how can we? Like, how can you process that level of, I don't know, variety? That's a shitty word for it. But, like, there's so much shit going on. This is why all this social media is happening, because along with being a distraction and a problem, it's also helping us cope with the degree of the world. You know what I mean? There's so many fucking people. How could you ever be sensitive
No, but
to
this
the
is
to the
sort
entire
of like,
situation while being an authentic person? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think this is what we were talking about earlier of like trying to, I mean, at the fucking smallest level of like learn how to apologize, but learn how to be different from each other and also work together and know that like we have different speeds and different beliefs and, have compassion. And I think that's where it's really crazy to have so much exposure to the global events and become desensitized to them because there's so much stuff that eventually like you can't compute, you can't process it. But it doesn't, I mean, obviously there's no excuse for making jokes about drones and,
Well, he
and killing
probably
people.
didn't realize it. He had to make some jokes, and somebody wrote
Sure.
that for him. But no, you're totally right. There's too much information. You're getting news from 7 billion
well, and
people.
we're putting it on one man when
It's crazy.
he is not just one man, but he is a group of people working together, but he has to speak for everyone. And so does Trump, and so does whoever is president. And that's what's really interesting is that I think what has happened now with the election of Trump is that people are becoming so much more aware that there's an entire cabinet and Congress, and the people that we elect, that we choose, are going to be part of that entire team. And it's
it's focusing people on politics in a way it never has before. That's
Right.
the good thing.
Yeah, it
And
is.
you get to see corruption in a weird way, like a real transparent way.
But speaking of corruption, and I talked to you about this guy about Represent Us, and it's this organization that I went to this meeting and was really informed for the first time. I'd never really understood how people in Congress kind of came to be these, runners in these elections, whereas it costs $40,000 to $60,000 a day to run for Congress.
That's insane.
And that is legal. That's not illegal.
That's so crazy.
And Josh Silver, I talked to you about him a little bit, started this organization, and they're working on
How long does
anti-corruption bills so that anybody can run. Some, an incredibly over-accomplished, or overqualified person from, say, Columbia or Harvard or wherever in the world or in the States who we elected. Whereas, like, these people that cost that much money to run, they're controlled by the Koch brothers and all the major oil industries.
What are they spending the money on if it costs that much a day?
That's just the game. That's just
transportation, advertisement, promotion.
And you don't qualify
staff,
if you don't
this shit.
if you don't play that game.
But here's the thing: you can qualify. Like if you ran for Senate or something, you wouldn't be spending $60,000 a day. You know what I mean? That's what's interesting, right? I mean, because you have a platform already, and people have platforms in the world. That's Donald Trump.
Well, did you know that when you have a platform, you're running for something, like Stanhope was running for president for a while. And
we had a friend that ran for president.
What he found while he was running for president is that he couldn't do stand-up shows anymore. Because if he was going to do something on stage, he would have, if it was like a public forum where people were coming to see him, he would have to allot time for his opponents.
Right.
And I was like, what? And he's
Crazy.
like, yeah. He goes, it's a crazy scam. It's like, you can't.
Rules of the game.
Yeah. There's a lot of like weird, freaky, old school rules back when people would stand on a soapbox and scream out into a large group of people. Those rules still apply.
Crazy. But the thing is, you can still, if you have 10 million people being like, that's a stupid rule, or however many it takes, it'll change.
Right.
Maybe, but look,
point.
it's still federally illegal to smoke marijuana. There's no reason why.
We just smoke marijuana.
We did, but it's state legal. But federally, it's still illegal. So it's not as simple
So am I
as
driving?
it's not as simple as like
Cool.
10 million people can say they don't want it anymore.
You're totally right.
Like, and that's the same thing.
But
What's going to go on with our political system? It's like,
Right.
yeah, it needs an overhaul. Yeah, it needs to be changed. It needs to be updated for the
But
internet and the 2017 world that we live in. And we need to figure out a better way to do it. We don't need the same sort of representative government that we always needed when you had to take a message from a fucking horse, and travel it
the
across
thing
the
is, it's like if you want that to change from the ground up, you're asking the people that are currently in office to bet against themselves, to say, hey, let's make it
You're
illegal.
asking them to behave as citizens is what you're
Right,
asking.
right. And
you're
like,
asking
that's
them
where
to
like
stop thinking that they're better or different than us.
and that's where it becomes unfathomable. It's
Well, they
like,
have to.
How is this possible?
They have to, just like everybody else
I
has to.
hope.
We all have to realize that we're all the same thing.
Right.
And there's no kings anymore, and there should be. I mean, Edward Snowden tweeted this the other day that people at one point in time couldn't imagine the idea that one day there'd be no kings. And they're going to say the same thing about presidents one day. And it's for
Right.
sure going to happen. The presidents or whoever runs for Congress or Senate, they have to come to an understanding that they are no different than us. And just because they're in positions of power, they're not different. We're all just people, and that if you have extra power over people and you utilize it, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should feel horrible. Like, did you guys hear what Chris Christie did?
The beach thing?
He closed down the
I
beaches in
saw
New
that this
Jersey and then
morning.
vacationed on the beaches with his family. They closed him down due to budget
He should have
cuts.
put a shirt on.
But
He did have a shirt on. He had a shirt on.
Is that what that was?
But he
got,
lied.
But he got caught
He
though,
got
which
caught
is interesting.
lying. They asked him, "Did you get any sun?" He said, "No, I didn't get any sun." And then the pictures came out. And he's like, they said, "Oh, Mr. Christie had a baseball hat on, so he didn't get any sun." Like, no, that's not a loophole. You were lying. You're still in the sun. You're not in a house.
Right.
If you're not in a house, you're getting sun, you fucking
Well, this is that whole
asshole.
like play on words bullshit that's happening in the media, where it's like people are, they just, circumvent around the truth or whatever they're trying to say with just stupid rhetoric.
Right.
It's so annoying. I fucking hate it.
It's changing. It's got, and I don't know
How is it changing, Ben?
It's changing because if this was 60 years ago, that news wouldn't have gotten out, or there would have
Right.
been ways to just like crush that, and there still are.
That's
Obviously.
so true, though. You're right.
But
It's definitely changing.
Yeah, there's a kind of a
Too many
leeway
iPhones to hide that stuff.
at this
Not just
point,
that.
you
I mean,
can't-
look what you're doing right now. You're talking to millions of people.
I guess.
And you're
Oh,
saying
God.
that.
Don't tell me that.
So you're saying it to millions of people, and then millions of people are going to have similar conversations because of that. When you hear something interesting that someone talks about, you start talking about, hey, I heard this interesting conversation. Really made me think about something. And then that just wasn't even available 10 years ago.
Right.
It wasn't available 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of the social media stuff, all of the, whether it's YouTube videos that people can make or podcasts that people can make or whatever the fuck it is, or blogs that people can write, all of it is just information. And that flow of information has never been greater. It is an unstoppable river now, you know, to the point where that's why that baked Alaska dude was laughing like the fucking president jumped into the river. Like he's in the crazy river, putting up memes and talking shit about people, joking around about some lady having a fucking plastic surgery. She had like a facelift, and he said she was
Oh, my
bleeding.
God.
Like, you believe that?
Yeah.
You believe that the president is saying that? It's like,
Well, this
wow.
is like, what's that movie? That movie, with Luke Wilson and
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. It's happening. It is really happening.
Well, it's for sure a bad system that no one wants to join in. Like, if you're Elon Musk, why the fuck would you want to be president? You can bang supermodels and build rocket ships.
Boom,
Like,
boom.
why do I want to?
You know about our car? Do you know the funny story about our touring vehicle?
I do not.
Oh, it's great.
Drop it.
So, oh my God, Ben, is it 3 years ago?
Yeah. 2015.
2015. So in spring of 2015, we thought it would be, this is when we put Punk Kid up for donations so we could buy a car, so we could tour. And we didn't want to buy a van because that's annoying. Who wants a van? And we were looking at SUVs, and we found a Cadillac Escalade 2007.
Sue's decided to start.
Well, they're all the same car. P.S. Ford Expeditions, Escalades, Navigators, whatever the year, they're the same structure, just different clothes. And there was a great
She's
deal
blowing wide open.
on a Cadillac Escalade, and we had like a lot of touring in front of us, and we bought it. And we bought it with 60,000 miles on it, and it was in mint condition, which was really strange. And like the used car salesman's like, yeah, there's clearly no kids in the back seat. There's no Cheerios stuck between the seats. And so we ended up buying this car, and we were looking through the user manual to like, what does this button do? And the former owner registration fell out. Swear to God, Elon Musk. Ooh. And
The
Ben
plot
had this great
thickens.
idea.
Didn't see that coming,
Ben had
did
this
you?
great idea to get him to design a Tescalade for better
Oh, yeah, he's got that kind of
economical
free time.
touring. But to put it into perspective, though, we bought it with 60,000 miles, and now it has like 160,000 miles on it, and that was just about a little over 2 years ago.
Have you seen that shit he's going to do in California where he bores holes under Los Angeles and makes tunnels, and you ride on a sled through the tunnel?
I heard about this, but
125
I
miles
heard
an
about
hour?
this briefly, actually.
Yeah, you drop down into this tunnel and you go. You don't
Wait,
drive
this
your
is like
car.
Tron.
Wait, but why?
Yeah,
why do
look
you
at
do
it.
that?
Look, Jamie will pull it up. You can see
Okay.
it. So watch what happens.
Jamie's so
You
fast. dude.
pull up to this
How do
thing.
you do this, Jamie?
He's a wizard. You pull up to this thing and it drops you down.
Drops your car.
Yeah,
down.
it drops you down. You get in a queue and you drop
Come
down,
on.
and then you get on a sled. Your car's on a sled, so you're not driving anymore.
Whoa.
And your car could be on a solar powered sled too. By
No
the way,
way.
with all the power we have in LA from the sun, I mean, it never stops being
Crazy.
sunny out. If they wanted to make these giant solar banks to power this thing, I bet they could. But there's a video of it, like the idea of it, the animated version of it. So of course everyone in the
course
street
it's
is
a
driving a
Tesla.
Tesla. There's nothing but Teslas.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
and
That's hilarious.
old rotten shitty cars from the 60s.
Do you have to pay more to get on the sled
I'm
to be
sure.
the elite
Yeah, otherwise you're one of those twats that's
super
stuck.
trafficker?
What?
So watch this. You drop down, and then once you drop down, you are in these tunnels that he's building that are totally earthquake proof. Don't worry. When they fill up with water and kill you and your family, don't sweat it. look. They're
You like to
earthquake
come
proof.
after you.
Look at this.
Make sure you have your go
Yeah.
bag ready.
I'm a fan of his.
And your oxygen mask.
I'm a fan
This
of
is like
his.
premium access
But
freeways.
I just need everybody to understand that when the 1,000-foot waves come, you will not survive in these fucking tubes. They will fill up with water, and you will drown.
Joe, I'm so scared.
Most likely that tsunami's not coming. But if and when,
This is insane.
that's a wrap.
A lot of thumbs down. So
Yeah, because people are freaking out about the ocean.
well,
We're
and
right next to the fucking ocean and the ground moves.
It's over there.
Okay? We should be flying, Elon! Flying cars!
where's your
make fun-
goddamn
We're gonna do it on
hovercraft?
Mars,
Make
dude.
flying cars that have batteries in the front so they can't hit each other, so they like repel.
Well, I watched.
That's all you
bumper
need to
cars.
do. Well,
So you-
repel. You don't want to bump, dude. You
Sorry,
want to repel,
sorry.
like two
Ben,
magnets.
Okay.
don't bump,
Jesus,
repel.
man.
I
Magnets.
watched this
Magnets.
Vice.
Hold on, I'm writing that
I
down.
watched this Vice last night that scared the Jesus out of me.
What
and
was it?
It was they were showing just technological intelligence to overtake cars and control the computers in the cars and just
Yeah.
and it was crazy. It was just like just hacking into any kind of car, and I'm gonna shut you down and run you off this cliff, or I'm gonna fuck with you, make your windows go up and down, and it's crazy. I mean, I don't want to be scared. I don't want to live with like, oh God, and I try not to, but that's fucking crazy.
Fucking crazy. You know that journalist, they think the big conspiracy theory is that he was killed because they overtook the controls of his car and slammed him into a tree and made him go 120 miles an hour. Yeah, what's his name? Michael. He was a famous journalist who wrote a story in the Rolling Stones about a general, and it was he was embedded with them. I believe it was in Iraq,
Wait,
might have
was
been
it-
Afghanistan, and he
Was
was.
this Petraeus?
The general?
No, it wasn't about Petraeus. It was another general.
What was
No,
it about?
no,
Oh,
it was a
that's
different
right,
general.
Yeah, that's right. But Michael Hastings was his name.
Michael Hastings, thank you.
Yeah.
So he wrote this article about this general, and the general had to step down because the general was joking around about Obama or something like that, and there was just like he got a little loose. What is this? There's a close sitting
There's
footage. This is
footage
the
of
Oh,
wreck.
I don't
Jesus.
think I want to watch.
So this apparently they tried to say that he committed suicide, and some people believe he did commit suicide. And some people believe so he's just flying down and just slams into a tree and his fucking car blows up. Here's the thing though, and this is like in the interest of full disclosure, they apparently said that they found amphetamines on him, on his body, right? So that could mean that he was under the influence of amphetamines when it happened. Or it could mean that he takes Adderall, because a lot of journalists take Adderall. So if they found it in his system, it doesn't necessarily mean he was speeded up when he was driving like a fucking maniac because he was off the rails. It could just easily have meant that he uses Adderall to get his workload done, which a shitload of journalists do. So it might not have meant anything. And we talk to people that are experts. Boy, people that are experts that weigh in on conspiracy car crash evidence, they're weirdos. It's hard to find like who's right and who's wrong.
Right.
But some people said that the way the car had separated, the way the engine had exploded and launched itself from the car indicates some sort of an explosion more it does an impact. Because it just all, hit the tree and blew up all at once. But again, could be bullshit. But it is fucked up because
Something
the
to
guy
think
wrote
about, though.
he wrote a very scathing article about this general, and it made the general retire. And I know that guy got a shit ton of death threats, and he was telling everybody that if somebody kills me, like be sure that I didn't kill myself.
Damn.
Fuck.
That's crazy.
They can take over your car because your car's a computer. Your car, a lot of cars today are connected to the internet through Wi-Fi. A lot of cars, like they have their own Wi-Fi hub. Like you buy a new Escalade, it comes with a Wi-Fi hub, so all the people in the car can play on their iPads or whatever while you're driving. You link up to the internet that's on the actual car itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a computer. It's a computer. It's connected to the net. You drive it around. Somebody just gets in there.
I mean, there's no bounds at this point.
There's no bounds.
But how can you keep things organized? Probably isn't the right way, but how do you keep us all alive without surrendering personal freedom? Like boom, boom, boom. Like we kind of have a crazy. What's going
Very
on?
good question. This lighter stopped working.
Oh,
See what the deal was.
yeah, we don't have to talk about
What
that.
you don't really have an answer to that question because we don't even know what they could really do right now.
Well, and especially if part of the important thing we need to accept is that we're all the same thing, then we have to accept that we all have to start acting like the same thing at the same time, right?
That's a very good point, but it gets lost when you start talking about people that are in the military and that are dealing with national emergencies or national security situations. Like when you make a general retire because you chose to write an article about some things that you heard him say that gets him fired, and then somehow or another the military becomes compromised because this very important leader is no longer in a position of power. That's a very tricky situation. It's very tricky. I mean, you did get the scoop, and you did get to say how this guy was communicating, candidly.
But these things are happening. They're happening interdependently and also completely enmeshed. Like you can't enmesh the way that all these things, technology, blah blah blah, is developing. But
there it is.
There's no way this dude they can control that much. There's no way people can control where this is going, and by this I mean everything to that degree. So you just have to, deal with all these new phenomena that are happening.
Oh yeah, for sure. Look at this. This is the article, "The Runaway General: The Profile That Brought Down McChrystal." The Rolling Stone profile of Stanley McChrystal that changed history. That's crazy. That one article can get a general fired, change history.
And it's crazy the guy who wrote it is dead.
Dead as fuck. And they think dead from a crazy conspiracy. Michael Hastings. Who the fuck knows? But boy, does it
What's in the
get
right
exciting.
corner? Is that
Brad Pitt.
something
Bradley
about
Pitt.
Wow.
Boy, yeah.
So he's playing the general in this movie?
He's playing a runaway general.
There's this Netflix movie called War
Movie
Machine.
based on Rolling Stone reporter Michael Hastings. Wow, they're doing a movie based on that thing happening. That's crazy.
Oh, it's already out. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix now.
Get the fuck out of
I
here.
didn't know that's what it was about.
It's a Netflix movie?
Yeah.
Dude, Netflix almost has too much content.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
And it's funny because there's so much content that the quality's not that great. So you get some shows and like I'll like this weekend I had this like 25 minutes in. No. And I just couldn't fucking land on anything.
What were you trying to land on?
Something with substance and just more thought. And I ended up watching Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, and I was so happy with my choice. Okay?
It's like you found what you were looking for.
Let me tell you something.
Anyway, this Brad Pitt
just
movie.
started reading Harry Potter.
Yeah, let's leave to that. That'll get us out of this.
Jesus Christ.
Harry Potter's amazing.
Important figure, dude. You can't
really,
ignore it.
And let's be honest,
ignore it.
there's a lot of parallels to the wizarding world and our fucking weird world and politics. There's politics in the wizarding world as well.
Word.
Do you do magic?
Did you guys ever go to the Harry Potter ride at Universal?
No, not yet. I haven't
Near.
finished. I'm a book and a half from finishing, so I don't know what
So you
happens. Don't
want-
fuck it
you
up
want
for
more
me.
No, the
Is that what you're
ride.
saying?
I'm talking about the ride at Universal. I'm
Yeah,
not
but I
talking about
don't want to
fucking-
entertain.
Do you really think I know the plot to any of those fucking
I feel like you
books?
do, and you're just plain
let us
cool.
tell you, Joe. Here we go. Let's act this out. So then, so it's not decided who's
There's
driving.
more
then.
in the back, too.
Oh, I'll drive. Here, give it to me.
I don't give a shit. We'll figure
Do you have any protein bars? Let me see.
Yes, plenty of protein bars.
figured.
We're going to
Get us
be
out of
fine.
here.
Just always Uber. Worry not, my friends. We will get through this with a steady hand. There is no concern. But the Harry Potter ride at Universal is the shit. It's really fun.
Oh my
Ooh, that's
god.
It's fucking crazy.
You've been there.
Oh, yeah,
You've
it's
done it.
fun. Yeah. It's really fun.
Does it feel? I was telling you about this. Maybe it's the same thing. Don't you get on a broom and it feels like you're flying?
It's not a broom.
Oh.
You're sitting in a chair, but you're flying around.
Good
Yeah, like you kind of would be if you were in a broom. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's dragons and shit. It's fun.
Oh my god.
It's a really good ride. It's really well made.
You don't understand.
This level of excitement right
Because
now.
you're so excited
So
about Harry Potter.
I was a Harry Potter late bloomer. Okay, I was all Lord of the Rings. I read Dune, loved Dune. I just I'm a total nerd, and
Million
I
guys just
didn't
got
read Harry Potter. And Ben really encouraged me this past year, and he got me the Sorcerer's Stone, which is the first book, and I just can't stop. And
But you don't have to.
I won't. But it's amazing. Like I can't tell you how much joy it's brought me as an
Really?
adult. Yeah, it's just.
Wow.
Here's the thing. I think I feel like I have an affinity for like fighting darkness just in myself.
Why?
Because I'm fucking dark. But I'm also very light. So, you know, as such is life. And it's, yeah, here we go.
You're going in.
Yeah, I'm going in. But
For the folks listening at home, they both
one of the
made
last
digging
books.
motions.
So the last
Thank you for
book,
clarifying.
the last book was The Order of the Phoenix, which is very political because there's you know a political presence. There's or a government, excuse me, within the wizarding community, and it was just really interesting to be reading that while also like watching our local news and our global news, and just it's all part of the same story in terms of manipulation and what we interpret as truth. And it was just an interesting experience to read that book and then to listen to like my favorite podcasts and news outlets and be like, this isn't any different than Harry Potter.
It's all based on the familiarity of problems in human nature, right?
Sure.
It's all based on good and evil and fuck-ups and ego and power and
Love,
control and
passion.
battles.
Sure.
Yeah.
What
Correction.
do we got?
Value of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter business is worth $25 billion. Whoa.
Cool.
That seems like a lot.
How do you get it? How do you get a piece of that?
That is excessive.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
don't.
Okay.
She's rolling.
But it's
How
like
do you
Star
think
Wars.
she?
It's the
Do you
same
think
thing.
she's like willing to get married?
Ben.
How does that? How does that work?
What?
No,
You
I
made
should
a
save
joke?
the joke.
What?
You got a joke?
No, I'm going to save the joke.
Sus.
No. No.
You guys know this is live, right? Don't argue over saving jokes. Just say the fucking joke.
Boom. This better be good.
Oh my god.
How did?
We hotboxed
She's doing
her.
it.
We hotboxed her.
Joe,
she
you're a
didn't even
professional
smoke.
comedian.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
Don't do it.
It's not my joke. It's not my joke.
Let's just pull out of
It's
this.
not my joke, first of all.
Like we're about to hit the ocean.
How did Harry Potter get down the hill?
How?
Walking. J.K. Rowling.
Solid.
I don't understand it.
She's the.
It's okay.
We gotta bring
It's not
that
my
to-
joke. I didn't come up with it. I
You
heard it
understand it?
secondhand. It's like a third
J.K.
hand.
Rowling is the punchline.
But the joke is.
And also the author,
She's the author
of the
It's
famous
the-
Harry Potter
yeah.
book
Wait a minute.
series.
See, I knew
say
this
the
was a
joke
bad
again?
idea. Nope, it's over.
this is a little rough
Joe,
delivery.
move
A little
on.
rough delivery. You say walking. J.K.
Ben knows
Rowling.
I should have
Like
aborted
you're
the
saying
mission.
joke,
That's
J.K.
not- don't put this on me.
It's a little rough.
God.
Don't put it on
Oh
me.
my God. JK
I'll have to
meaning
explain
just
it, yeah.
kidding.
J.K. Rowling. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm starting to like it better now.
Here's-
I'm just
here's
so
what I
glad
love.
you told that on Joe's
Dad
podcast.
jokes. I don't give a fuck. I love dad jokes. I love stupid jokes. Get at me.
She's owning it. She's owning it.
There, I made him laugh. Thank God.
Hey, tell me about this fucking crazy guitar you guys have that somebody gave you.
Ooh.
Oh, the
Ooh.
National.
What happened?
It's outside.
What happened with that guitar? That thing's
No, it's-
insane.
It's
It's
a
a
beautiful
great-
guitar. They
How does
make them.
someone
There's a
give
company
you-
called National, and they
that thing is insane
Also known
looking.
as
yeah,
a
they
dobro.
gave us one because I think they like us, but they also like you. That was a part of it. We have to admit that.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
No, I didn't do anything.
But-
Thank you, them.
Mm-hmm.
They made that's a crazy looking guitar. That's not a normal
Yeah,
guitar.
it's a resonator, so it has. I can't actually remember. I think it has tricone resonators, which
Go grab
means
that
it has.
thing. Show me the thing.
You
get
want
a
to
peek.
hear some music? Is that what you're getting at?
No, I want to see that guitar. That's it right
That's
there,
closer
right?
to it. No,
Close.
that's not it, but it's close. Is that
Pioneer.
it, Ben?
No, that's not the one.
Now, I thought a guitar had to be made out of wood.
No. I mean, well, this is technically, it's a different kind of guitar. Some call them dobros.
I'm definitely not claiming any
So
guitar
there's
knowledge.
a cone inside of. I feel like I want Ben here so I don't fuck this up, but there's a resonator inside, like a speaker. Inside of see how there's all this kind of mesh. Look, will you go back up for a second?
Up?
That one, yeah. That
Oh, okay.
that's like
Yeah.
a built-in speaker, and you can plug them in so they're electric.
So it's a
But,
speaker like a car speaker, like a stereo speaker?
Not
so it's
necessarily. No,
electronic?
I mean it's a without electronics. There's a cone inside that the sound resonates louder, like a banjo, kind of a little bit.
okay.
But
so it's not like a stereo speaker.
National,
like
I'm
a
really
Bluetooth
sorry if I just
speaker.
It's
butchered
not powered.
the pitch.
Okay. Well, Jamie's an actual audio
It's not
engineer.
powered, but it
It's
has
not
a
powered.
specific tone to it that isn't like your regular acoustic or electric guitar. And when you plug it in, it sounds amazing. And it has sort of like a down homey vibe, and it's beautiful.
Down
And-
homey vibe. Isn't
yeah.
that interesting?
Yeah.
Down homey vibe. Like down homey music. Like acoustic music is like down homey music, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Right?
folk music and,
Yeah.
and soul music are down home.
Resonator for guitar cover plate for biscuit
Ben, I
bridge.
might have butchered the whole explanation of what a national is, and I really hope
she
that you
nailed
can
it.
help me.
She nailed it. Okay, so is there any wood on that? Is the back of that thing
It's
wood?
all
the
steel.
fretboard's wood and the headstock and the neck.
I'm gonna pee.
But the body's metal.
That thing's insane looking, man.
I don't want
And so,
to play it too loud.
what kind of a different sound does this thing make than a regular guitar? Wow.
So it's just
It's like a
it's a
metal.
lot louder. It cuts a lot more. It's more resonant.
It's got a metal sound to it.
Yeah, sure. So one, if I had a slide, these things are great for playing slide with, because
Jamie's
so
got
loud.
something. What do you got? A lighter?
I probably fucked that up. But you can kind of
You want a round one or a
get
flat one?
probably round. But you can kind of hear it maybe.
Ooh,
Yeah, I sound like shit, but you know what I mean. Like if you
some
had
old
glass
school
slide.
blues shit. What is that there? What do you got
Exactly.
there?
Cigar.
Cigar.
Something around those.
Try that round cigar thing. Cohiba. Ooh. Whenever I hear that kind of shit, I think of like old blues.
Yeah, because all that Robert Johnson stuff, he's playing
Yeah.
slide. All that. He probably didn't
Yeah.
have a resonator though.
Wow.
Yeah, I suck at playing slide, but it's
Are you a John Lee Hooker fan?
oh yeah, my god.
God damn, was that guy a bad
Fucking
motherfucker? Is he still
one's-
around?
no,
Or did
he's
he
dead.
pass? When did he pass?
Maybe 10 years ago, like because he was old. He was playing when he was in his 90s.
Oh, I didn't discover him till he was probably in his 80s.
2001.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh my god, so good. He could. You know what? This will be big ups on Gary. When we saw Gary for the first time, he was just acoustic. We played this show with him. This was like 2011 or something, and he made me feel like John Lee Hooker because it was just him, and there's this hypnosis that he can kind of set over you.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a real blues thing. That's where kind of you get deeper into it. These guys can really play that music. It's the same thing. John Lee Hooker, you listen to it and you're kind of like entranced.
Jamie, find my Instagram where Honey Honey had Gary Clark together on stage. And you guys were doing Midnight Rider. I filmed a little bit of it and put it up on Instagram. It was just so crazy. I did everything that I hate people doing at comedy clubs.
Nerd.
Oh, look, there's my hat.
Oh God.
Like, listen to that. That's so Gary Clark.
He's so cool.
That's me playing. Both of you. Now, yeah. Oh, so fucking good. Feels so fucking good.
Oh, I got a lot of crap for this.
I know, because she had to check the lyrics. But let me just explain this for all the assholes that gave her
Oh,
crap.
I got so much crap
she
for
didn't
that.
know the words to this song. They
No,
did this
we-
impromptu song live on stage in front of all these people.
Oh, man.
And she had to check her phone for the lyrics.
I had to block some dude who was being such a fucking cock, and I was like, I'm
Don't
sorry.
mention him. Don't mention him.
I'm not going to.
He
I
just needs attention.
screw that dude. But whatever. Shit happens. It was such a fun night. We did a song I didn't know, and I wanted to sing the words properly, and I had to look them up on my phone.
Listen to me,
but someone thought I was
Suzanne.
texting some dude, and that wasn't the case.
Thousands of people enjoyed that. One or two were cunts, and you're focusing on the wrong ones.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
It was amazing.
You've always been our social media Yoda. Dude.
You are.
You gotta just know when to
Obi-Wan.
stop. Put out the right vibe, be yourself, and get the fuck out of Dodge when shit gets weird. Just get away.
It's
Don't try
funny.
to, you can't control it. You definitely can't argue with
Well,
them.
and you're right, and it is an effort to not care because
But you do care. We should all care.
Well, I just like love people. I really do.
gotta
And unless you're like
recognize
a
what
really
that
shitty person,
person
it's hard. And I want to love that person too. I think.
But it's not about caring. It's because you're going to care. It's about like recognizing what that person is and then not letting him into your house.
Agreed.
Like,
Agreed.
you know what that is. It's a dummy. They just want to get mad about stuff. Especially if you found out what it was, that you were just checking the lyrics to a song that you'd never sang before and you were singing live with Gary Clark Jr. in front of a and it was like midnight in downtown LA in some weird ass bar.
Oh man, that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was badass. Makes me want to move to downtown LA.
Does it?
Live like Batman. Some sort of a warehouse and fucking have a English dude watch his shit over for me.
Batman's pretty
Lights.
unhappy, Joe. You ever notice
So you
like-
think from the outside. You don't know him, man.
Yeah.
People might think you're unhappy. All those musicians,
Wait,
they're
why
all
why is
dark.
Batman unhappy?
Because
That's
he's
what I'm
lonely as
saying.
fuck.
How do you
Come
know
on.
that?
Talking
What are you
about?
talking about? I feel like all the movies are going into how bummed out he is all the time because he can't share what he's doing.
Because he has
If
to
you
live in
were-
secret.
Yeah, exactly.
He
lives
could.
a
He just
secret
needs
life.
a couple of good friends.
He can't get the validation. Yeah, he's got one old British dude
One
who is
old
charming
friend.
and funny.
He just needs more friends.
Yep. Agreed.
Like if I was Batman, I feel like I could tell you and you wouldn't tell anybody.
You're
Joe, I
absolutely
hate
right.
to break
There's
this
gotta
to
be a
you.
few already
You
did
are
like that.
you are Batman.
There's a few people you just didn't know. Did you ever see that? There was I guess it was actually a comic book. It was a forgetful professor. It was a professor, and in the comic book, this guy was he was forgetful about all these different things, but he was like a super genius professor. And at the end of the comic book, he recognized that he was actually an alien from another planet that came down to Earth to help us innovate. But
Hate
he
to break it to
forgot.
you, Joe,
He
but you
forgot
are
who he
also
was.
an alien from another planet that came down here to innovate
You're
us.
so silly.
Joe's purring right now.
You know it's true.
Oh boy.
You guys should do more of those weird little downtown shows, though.
We should.
You should. Those were fun. Those
That
were
was
so
cool.
strange.
It was a really fun night and
Midnight,
weird. And it was so great
packed.
because you were there. That's why
Wow.
it was great.
We had a great time. It was awesome.
It was fun.
It was pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Intimate shows are so big. They're so different, you know? Like, you almost kind of have to do them. Like, if you just J-Lo the whole thing and you're on these big-ass giant stages for the rest of your
Is
life,
she on Big Ass Giant Stage?
I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
If she's
Oh,
doing
yeah.
anything, she's
Come
going to
on.
be, like, separated from everybody, right? They're going to bring her in. They're going to throw
You're not getting close to
white
that.
rose petals at her feet and shit. Yeah. But, I mean, I think that
One
it's-
day, Ben.
as
One day.
attractive as that is,
We're going to do it.
Hold on, there's the counterpoint to
yeah,
this.
you don't
just
want
about
that.
to come.
As
I'll pound it,
attractive
but
as that thought seems, like that's like the worst thing that can ever happen to you, is to get so separated from everybody that you're like up on some giant ass stage, and everywhere you go, you can't interact with people.
It depends.
Making all that
We just both
money.
saw Roger Waters 2 weeks ago, and it was incredible.
Tony
And-
went. He said it was insane.
Oh my god! And I think there's a there's a reason that he's doing what he's doing, and people are coming to see him because it's
Yeah.
incredible and it's authentic and it's raw, and like that man has obviously he has teams around him that help build that show. He doesn't do that by himself,
Right.
but it was, oh man, it wasn't white rose petals. It was
no, but
beautiful
that's
music.
different. That's a
and-
different thing. That's
Sure.
a different thing.
Well, and that's that fast food thing we were kind of talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And I think there's a place for that too. Sometimes you're fucking starving and you need something right now.
There's also like a lot of money in being that icon, that diva, that thing. You know, it's like it's a very attractive position to try to attain. It's almost like you just run a little too close to the sun and burn
it's-
the wax off your
Right.
wings.
Some of it's authentic
Bringing
and
it
some of
back.
it is totally you are a machine. You are
Yeah.
part of the manufactured idealism that you represent. And that is a heavy burden.
But you know what's
I don't
probably
wish
not?
that on anybody.
What's probably not inauthentic is people's ambition to get there.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
the people in those positions are so fucking ravenous for that kind of attention, and that's the only way you would possibly climb to the top of that mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to be fucking focused.
I don't
with
know.
the-
I think some people are manipulated. I don't know. I think
Like
some
Michael
people.
Jackson?
I think some people have an idea of the art and they're also exploited within that realm because some parts of the record industry are fucking insidious.
Right.
You know, and they take like remember you were talking about that documentary with these like 15-year-old kids that were
That was
so
weird.
talented, but they were like clearly just getting sucked into the thing.
Well,
that
you're
was
too young.
uncomfortable.
You're too young to know what you're doing. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. In order to make the decision to be a giant, like Michael Jackson, like we were talking about Jackson 5 earlier, like when you sing in ABC, I mean, he was a fucking baby.
Yeah.
He was a baby. And he was on TV. You know, he was a huge star.
But
He was
also,
a
like, he had
child.
his family running the show, and it was like a really fucked up dynamic. And so it was almost like I mean, don't get me wrong, his talent was undeniable, but like his family were the record industry in that
But
respect.
dude, his talent was so undeniable that he was
Yeah.
the youngest one and he got to sing.
Yeah.
Could you imagine you grow up with 4 bad motherfuckers as brothers? Your
Mm-hmm.
dad is a professional musician and you are so good. They're like, okay, let him sing. Just let him sing.
Yeah.
Like everybody else must have wanted to sing. They all did their solo projects afterwards.
Yeah.
They didn't say shit while Michael had the microphone. They're just like, let him sing, let him sing, let him sing. Just let him sing.
Yeah, and people reacted to that in a real way, right? I mean, that's what, you know, there's the exploitative aspect, and then it's like everybody wanted to fucking see him sing. I wish I saw him sing.
It was 2 things, all right? It was this emergence of this incredible sound that came out of this one person and all the different projects that he was involved in. And then it was also the tragic, almost like decimating of a potential life, because his life only it existed so strongly in the public eye that it didn't exist anywhere else in a normal form. Outside, it was just a chaos, a mess of hanging out with kids and weird relationships with women that didn't seem real and living in an amusement park. It was just a mess. It was just a total disaster. Like everything outside of the magic that he did in the public eye was just hell. It was really weird because what he did in the public eye, like Thriller and Beat It and all those different things, I mean, they were so intense. Like I was in high school when all that stuff was going on, and I remember just watching like Thriller on television. You know, when they had the premiere, the music video, and everybody sat around and watched Thriller when it came out. There was
Right.
nothing like that ever.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
It's crazy.
Like sort of like when Hendrix came along, there was nothing like that before. Well, when Michael Jackson came along, there was nothing like that before either.
Right.
You're like, what the fuck? Like someone had taken the whole thing and put it in this totally new package where it was like this feminine guy and he had one glove on and he was dancing and everybody wanted to move like him. And it's like, what in the fuck
Right.
is
Well,
this
this is
guy
kind
doing?
of back to your like Freddie Mercury kind of dick out thing. It's like he did what he wanted to do, and he was iconic because
Yeah.
of it. I think that's part of it. It's like you just have to own it.
well, but he did it on a level that was undeniable, just like you talked about before, because of his ambition. It wasn't just I'm going to be me. It was like I am going to be me to the furthest extent that I possibly fucking can. And this is what happened. You know what I mean? I have a friend who went to his house up in Los Olivos, and they toured his dance studio, and he had this private dance studio, and there's mirrors against the wall, and there's this groove in the floor. And this is, you know, he was later in his life at this point, but he had worn out a part of the floor from just practicing his shit.
Wow.
And this is way beyond his teens and 20s. That's just like who he was all the time.
You know what people don't respect? That song Dragon Attack.
I don't know that
I
song.
don't know, but you
don't know
stared
the
into my
Queen
soul when you
song,
said
Dragon
it.
Attack?
I know the Troll
I quivered.
song, Ogre Battle.
Dude,
I know
one of
Ogre
the-
Battle.
It's one of those songs that people forgot. And
Can we play
listen
it?
to
I don't know
we
the
could play it,
song.
but the people on YouTube can't hear it, and we'll probably have to. We could play it for us though, right? We have to do some fancy editing. Probably.
Are we gonna get it in trouble?
We get
We
yanked
could
off
just listen
YouTube
to
for
it later.
everything. We show a video of a caterpillar, and we get yanked off YouTube.
Wait, we can't
we
use
got yanked the
YouTube?
last time we did.
we
I
get
think.
yanked off YouTube for stuff. Like when we put things on the air that are on
Right.
YouTube that someone else has. Listen to this. This is Dragon Attack. People don't remember this.
Just think about,
Give me some volume.
like,
Come on.
nasty. That dick's just out.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Nasty.
It's
Joe,
a forgotten classic.
You have to have Brian May
It gets better.
on your podcast.
Who?
The guitar.
Dick's out.
Dicks out. Woo!
What?
Come on.
Oh,
Right?
so good. It feels so good.
All right, we'll have to fade out here. We'll have to fade out here. We're getting in trouble. Come on, Dragon Attack. People have slept on Dragon Attack.
This shit is nasty.
That's
One of
just
Queen's best songs.
It's just occurring to me right now. What does that sound? Do you hear that?
What is that?
Check to see if
Ben,
that's
in your
my
hand.
car.
This is a cigar
Maybe
holder.
the feds. It's the building? Oh, no.
Oh, is there a fire alarm?
It's not in here. It's next door.
Oh, it's probably next door. It's getting robbed. Listen,
Should
keep it
we
together.
go?
I've got a
Should we
samurai
go
sword.
intervene, guys? What kind of weapons do you have in this place? Oh, we got
Swords,
Joe
bows and
Rogan.
arrows.
We're good.
Got a lot of shit.
Antlers. We can
Mess,
use
I
those
got
to
maces.
final
Joe,
effect.
you are a human
Kettlebells.
weapon.
Definitely not. These bullets are super hard to defend against.
Okay.
Shit.
I saw. I
Joe,
told
will
you I
you
saw
try and
Baby
have-
Driver
oh.
last night.
Baby Driver, yeah, you were saying
Oh
earlier.
my
It's
god!
really good, huh?
Everyone needs to see it.
That's what I keep
Speaking
hearing.
of incredible music and just a great story, it's the tits.
You guys hear that sound? That
It's kinda
sound in the
scary.
background is preventing us from playing you beautiful, harmonious music. But we just can't.
Joe, will you
Same
have?
laugh. Are you laughing?
I keep trying to ask him
What do you want to
So-
ask?
if you got to get Brian May on your podcast.
Yeah, I would love to.
Oh my God.
What's going on, young Jeremy?
Nobody's there.
Nobody's next door, and the alarm's going off, so this will be going on forever. And this is why we're moving.
It's kind of cool. We should turn it into a rap song, like NWA. You know, his like woo 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 woo. You know, we can kind of just. Nope,
I would
okay.
imagine that these
Cool.
things have a time limit where they're allowed to stay on for.
I don't know. I think
I don't know about that,
the alert needs
but we're
to be
gonna find out.
fervent and
Didn't ours go off one time?
Yeah, but what happens? We weren't here, so it goes back on.
I think
And then
people
the
have to
security
come.
people have to
Yeah.
come and.
somebody getting robbed.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's next door? Is it worth checking out?
No.
It's
No.
not anything exciting.
Just a bunch of shit. I don't know what happened.
Bummer.
We might have to wrap this bitch up. Or can we talk through that?
Sure.
What's that?
Give me maybe like a minute or two, and I'll see if there's someone out there that's gonna unlock it
Okay.
or stop it soon. But I don't know if it'll stop.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen.
This could be one of our shortest I don't know how long
See-
have we been going.
We've been going for a while. It's already 4:30. We've been going since 2, right?
Jesus,
So I
Mary,
think
Joseph.
that there's probably not a lot of people working today. Because today's Monday the 3rd, tomorrow's the 4th. People just say, fuck Monday then.
Yeah, that's
you know,
fine.
Get that extra day. Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's the day where people are going to do some stupid shit with some fireworks.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Grilling.
Fuck yeah! Oh
hell
man, that's
yeah.
great.
That's what you're
hell
doing
yeah.
later too.
I'm
Can we still
double
come over?
grilling.
Are we grilling tonight?
We're grilling tonight. Tonight we're going to grill some Axis deer.
So excited.
Fresh from Hawaii.
Oh my god.
Damn. How did you
Yeah.
get? You just ship it with you on the plane? Is there some sort of
Yeah.
special?
You just freeze it before you take it back. You know, put it in the cooler.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just one. Do you have? You permitted for a certain number of deer that you can?
Not in Lanai. In Lanai, they don't have any predators, so you could really. I only shot one of them. They're really hard to get with a bow and arrow. It's hard to get close to them.
Wow.
They're super. They evolved with tigers. So
Whoa.
these things are just so fucking. This is
Come
how
on.
they're so fast. This happened more than once. I shot at one and it ran away from the arrow. The arrow is going 200
Wow,
and
that's
well, I had to
amazing.
switch arrows because I had heavier arrows that go 245 feet a second, and in the mid hunt we had to switch to these other arrows that go 275 feet a second. I had to gain an extra 30 feet a second because the deer would, and even then they still ducked it. They would look at the arrow coming their way and get the fuck out of dodge. They're like, "Yeah,
Damn.
bitch, are you kidding me?"
Oh my
Like,
god.
can you I mean, you know how fast that is?
That's
It's so fast
crazy.
because they literally evolved running away from tigers. Crazy,
Wow.
I don't
man.
think there's any chance that's going off anytime soon.
Yeah.
There's no one around.
We don't have to
Good
play,
issues.
Yeah, man.
We got issues, folks.
or we could play with the soundtrack. We don't have to play. It's up to
We
you.
could, or we could. We could definitely just keep doing it. Does it bother you that this thing is going on in
It's
the
kind of
background?
faded into the background. For
No,
me.
it's cool. I mean, I've had
It's
a
a little
few
weird.
drinks at this point. I feel pretty warm.
Have a couple of more.
I feel really
Hey.
inspired.
If you guys smell smoke, let me know.
Did you
Okay?
want to play some jams? I sounded Russian. It was a little.
Some chimps.
Do we want to play some songs?
I was at this place
Bedtime for Putin.
in New York that had a tiger pelt. This
Ooh,
famous tiger
a real
pelt.
one?
Real one.
Donde
From
in
this-
New York?
It's called the Explorers Club. This place is crazy. It was-
Oh, wow.
Is this like some S&M shit, Ben? What do you
Hush now.
tell us?
They're not exploring
Any place
inwardly.
can be an S&M place.
So
Oh,
it's
really?
like a safari type deal, like one of those clubs.
Well, it was like maybe late 1800s. Teddy Roosevelt started this place
Oh.
with
Of
a bunch
course.
of
Okay.
with a bunch of bros, and they have all this taxidermy in this room, and one of them is this pelt of a tiger, a tigress, that killed 48 people.
What?
Like
Wow.
in India. Yeah, it kind of like, it was a phenomenon. It got a taste for blood and started hunting men or people. I don't know if it was just men, but they had this thing on the wall which was insane.
You know, that's a real issue in India. In India, there's one part of this river that's very brackish, and the tigers drink this salt water. And because of the typhoons, a lot of times they wind up having a bunch of people wash up in the river, and the tigers wind up eating people. So they developed a penchant.
Taste?
Yeah, they have a taste for humans, to the point where there's one section of India, over the past 200 years, tigers have killed over 300,000 people.
Why the
What?
fuck are people still going there?
It was a bit from one
Sorry
of my
for shouting.
specials. It was a bit from Talking Monkeys in Space.
It's okay, Ben. You can yell. It's weird.
It really is true.
Why are people going there?
but why?
But they
why,
live
like,
there. They're
after
poor.
the first 100,000, you're like, we should leave.
There's nothing really they could do about it. I mean,
So it's not just, it's like they've evolved in that way. It's not just like one main, predatory tiger that's all.
no.
tiger.
There's many
so
tigers
scary.
over hundreds of years. The tigers have gotten used to eating people. Like tigers are particularly ruthless.
It's that funny story when you're like, I'm afraid of sharks, and like sharks don't eat people. They don't like the way we taste. How the fuck do you know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
they just don't. They don't.
They could be like,
expect
actually,
us.
I took a bite and that was fucking delicious.
It's like if you expected you were going to get cottage cheese, but instead you got a cantaloupe, you'd kind of freak out. But you might really get into cantaloupes after a while. You'd be like, I fucking love divers. Divers
What is this,
are
bouillabaisse?
delicious.
Oh, I like it.
I eat them in the wetsuit, dude. I don't give a fuck. Well, that's not a seal, right? Yeah, it's a diver.
It's like
I'm
a
eating
monkey
a
Oh
person.
my god.
You fuck. I know
My
exactly what
fucking
it is.
worst nightmare.
Yeah, this one section of this river in India, I did this whole bit about it in my 2009 comedy special, because there was a real story about a boat of people. There was 5 guys in this boat, and 3 of them were killed by tigers. So the tiger swam out to the boat,
No.
jumped in, killed a guy, dragged him into the water, swam to the shore, dropped his body off, jumped back in the water, swam out to the boat again, got the next guy, swam
Oh, he was
back to the
hoarding.
shore. He
He was a tiger hoarder.
He was just on a
torter.
killing spree.
That's fucked up.
God damn.
3 guys.
This is real, Joe.
Why did he make friends
Dude.
with him? Like in
I
Life
feel like
of
everything
Pi?
you say is real, so
It's
I'm
totally
just
real.
gonna stay on it.
I wouldn't lie to you about something so important.
That's crazy.
It's a danger.
Just stop and think about what that must have been like in
This
the
is why I
last 2
stay
guys.
home at my apartment in Silver
Oh
Lake.
my God, the terror.
Imagine
Jesus.
That's what we need. Tigers roaming the streets of Silver Lake.
We have
to let people
coyotes.
understand.
We have cougars. We
Coyotes.
have coyotes.
Coyotes. I got
Griffith
a
Park, they do
pamphlet.
stay. You guys are close
You
to
got a
Griffith
pamphlet,
Park.
Ben?
I should have brought the pamphlet in. It's
Oh.
that's such a relief.
Yeah. That means that the crooks have found the bolts and cutting the lines.
They've got the booty. The
Yeah.
pirates have got the booty.
Feels weird now. We're so alone with our thoughts.
I know. Oh, it's so awkward.
There was a guy that I had on that was a wildlife biologist that was telling me about the cougar that lives in Griffith Park. And he just jacks deer. That's all he does, and the occasional dog. They monitor this cat,
So
and they
there's
have
a
to
single
keep
cougar.
big cat. This is a
Yeah.
cat. They have a photo of him with the Hollywood sign. That, by the way, we have coming. We have a print of that coming. For the new studio, it has a collar on, but it's a wild cougar, and they have to capture it every couple of years. It's because its collar runs out of GPS, so the battery dies on the collar, so they have to find this fucker, and then they have to dart him. There he is, right there.
Whoa.
Look at see, he has his collar, and look in the background with the Hollywood sign. That's not planned. That was just a camera trap photograph, a random photo.
That's a big cat.
Look at that collar. He must
Look
be
at his
fucking
forearms.
Pissed.
Dude, that's like Franco Columbo. I mean, that's insane. His forearms are fucking jacked.
The Hollywood sign is actually 10 feet behind
What do you think
him.
he can lift? You think he
A
can?
lot. He looks like The Rock. He's built like The Rock. No, he's built like a power lifter almost. Like his front arm.
Look at that
Wow.
The front
I want
arms
to look
are
at this guy in the middle to
insane.
the left with that fucking look on his face. That guy.
It's all the same one.
That's the same
That's
cat.
him. They took a picture of him.
He's so stoned.
Hey, what's up,
He
bro?
got an edible.
Yeah, he eats a lot of edibles. You know what I think he eats? It's just stoners. I think if you eat stoners, you get high.
Oh my God.
But
That's
they-
my worst nightmare. Jesus, man.
They have to capture this cat every 2 years. This cat's been captured like 4 times.
He's pretty cute too, though.
I think he had mange there, right? Is that why they captured him? That he had some sort of a disease they had to work with him on? But it's so
What do
weird.
they call him? Steven?
I think his name is P22, right? Is that his name? That's what they call him?
Oh my God, Noto.
He was severely
Noto
infected
Adric
with
mange.
mange. Yeah.
That blows. Sorry, dude. That sucks.
It's an intense life.
And it's a male?
Uh-huh. And he's out there running free. That's what's really interesting. They just let him do what he
He's
does.
not running free. He's running the show. He's like
definitely running the
he's
show.
like king shit.
He's definitely king shit if you're a jogger.
He's like Simba
You just don't want to
of
catch him.
California.
If he has a limp and he can't take out deer anymore, that's when you're fucked. So you got to be packing heat, Ben.
These are the things that
do it.
are
When you're doing your running.
when we
Do
were
it.
in like Yellowstone and we were driving through. I did not want to
Bears.
get out of the car.
Bears.
No.
Yellowstone is pretty fascinating.
It's beautiful. I mean, we went and saw geysers and all the beautiful stuff, but like a week later, there was some hiker that just got killed.
By a
there was,
bear?
Yeah, by a grizzly, and it was like there was footage of it. There was a
Footage of it?
There was a not a sheriff, the ranger mobile ranger vehicle went by, and the man, like literally like seconds after the ranger drove by, this just huge grizzly goes across the path, and there was a hiker who had his headphones on and just got it's really
Got
terrible.
murked. Did you hear about that kid, 11-year-old kid that saved a fishing party yesterday?
No.
A charging grizzly bear at a fishing party, and this 11-year-old
This is in
kid
Canada?
gunned it down in Alaska.
What?
Yeah.
Gunned it down?
It's not a grizzly technically, it's a brown bear, but they're really the same bear. What a grizzly is a coastal brown bear, and what a coastal bear is called is a brown bear.
That's the kid.
11-year-old kid charging grizzly with one well-placed shot. Where is he exactly?
What does that
So I can
hat say?
tell you if that's the right
It
designation.
says young Harry Potter. That's what that hat says.
Where does it say it was? Hoona, Alaska. Go to the map and find out where the fuck Hoona,
He's
Alaska
11.
is.
Elliot 11.
That
Oh
dog
my
is
god.
so happy.
Hoona, Alaska. The kid lives in Hoona, Alaska. That's amazing.
It's like equally as sad as it is like
way up yonder, huh?
you don't want to
Damn.
see the
So-
people die from the bear, but then you feel bad for the bear.
That's actually a brown bear. They're calling it a grizzly, but it's on the coast.
Juno.
So I think that's tech. I
Ben,
might
my
be wrong.
Aunt Diana lived in Juneau.
Look how fucking big Alaska is.
That's
Go,
crazy.
go back.
You
Look
spend
how
much
big
time up there?
Alaska is.
Do you?
Dude, I've been there a bunch. I've been there a few times for fishing. I did a show there once.
What do you
in
like to fish, Joe?
Salmon.
What?
They're fun
Can
to
I come?
fish. Sure.
I love to fish.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so does Ben.
Let's do a family vacation.
I would love that. Would be the
Let's
best
do
thing
it.
ever.
Let's
We're
do
a
it.
lot of fun.
We'll plan it tonight at our cookout. We're
Okay,
having a
that sounds
cookout.
great. That
We're
sounds
having a
great.
cookout just an hour from now. But Alaska is you know what's really crazy? The thing that I didn't anticipate, how fucking aggressive the mosquitoes are.
Oh,
you hear that?
Because they only live for like a week.
Oh, jeez.
They
So
just-
when they're
What do you-
out there,
do you
they're like,
wear the
"Oh."
stuff?
I'm exaggerating with a week.
Do you
but
wear the stuff? Like
yeah,
you wear the...
you gotta wear the stuff. Yeah. Another
But
move
you-
is thermocell. If you know what a thermocell is,
I
it's
don't.
Like you press a button. It's an ingenious device that my friends the Rivets up in Alberta told me
You
about.
have friends called the Rivets?
The Rivets, John and Jen. John and
Okay.
Jen Rivet.
That's
They're
amazing.
hunting guides in Alberta. But you
Amazing.
press this button and it lights this
Okay.
a little tiny element
Like a
inside of
sonic
it.
thing?
And it heats up that blue pad. Go back to that thing. That blue pad, you change those out. After a while, they become white. And that blue pad puts
Like
out
a
this
dog whistle?
fine mist. No, it burns. It burns off a fine mist that you can't detect, but fucking mosquitoes don't want no part of it.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it makes your dick grow. I just made that part up. But I don't know
That
what
just
does
made my
that.
dick grow.
but what is that? Thermocell, are those heated? Is that heated or is that
You
repeller?
put them under
Pants.
your tootsies.
Yeah.
You put them
That's a
under your
repeller?
tootsies, and it
So you
makes the
go into your-
mosquitoes
in your
go away.
Walmart.com.
Look at that.
Get
It
'em
goes in
somewhere
your
else.
shoe. This is a Thermocell foot pad that somehow or another keeps
Nah,
mosquitoes
maybe not.
out. Maybe not. Maybe it was heated.
Do they have any other colors except for olive?
I don't know. Good question.
bothering you,
Are
Ben
you
Jaffe?
fashion conscious
It's
when it
just-
comes to mosquito
It's
protection?
just worth looking into.
When we lived in Nashville, I would have to wear off for sensitive skin during the day because I would get bit up by mosquitoes all day. And people would always tell me that I smelled amazing.
Ooh.
And I'd say, oh, it's off.
She said I write all over my tits with magic markers.
I did. I was. I didn't say
markers
that,
smell
but that
like the
sounds like a
best.
good pickup line.
What smells better than a fresh magic marker when you pop the top? You're like, you don't even know why you like it, but you love that smell.
Want it again.
Right?
I don't even know what to say anymore.
Is it true?
Thermacell
No,
makes...
I covered myself in off.
Just make it dark red.
Does it turn you
Dark
on that I
red.
covered myself in off?
Stop it.
Thermacell makes lawn, like those little things that you stick in the ground, like a little lawn lantern, but they keep mosquitoes away. It's the same. They do that too. This is not a Thermacell commercial.
Guys, we have it pretty easy in California with the mosquitoes.
Oh my
We
God,
sure
we got
do.
it easy with everything.
Yeah.
Fucking everything except earthquakes. We got it easy. We don't have weather.
I don't know. I killed a spider in my bedroom in the middle of the night last week, and I broke my curtain on my window. It's
Imagine
fine.
if you were living in Hoona, Alaska,
No,
and a
I
charging
can't.
grizzly bear. You caught him out the
Listen,
window right after
I
you
live
broke
here
your
for a
curtain.
reason.
But like if you were like screaming from the spider and you broke the curtain and you looked out the window as the bear was in full charge, it would put it all in perspective, wouldn't it?
It sure would, Joe.
You'd be like, God
Yeah.
damn it. Really
Yeah.
didn't have a big deal with
I'd be
that
like,
spider.
well, it was a
Had
good
it
life.
pretty good.
It was a good life.
Did it
Look
look
at
good?
Elliot,
Yeah.
the 11-year-old hunter.
yeah.
He seems like, he's kind of evaluating. what just
He's
happened.
he's fucking owning that shit.
that
Yeah,
dog.
bitches are on planes go out and visit this kid. There's older women that tend towards pedophilia that are right now grooming him.
Oh, stop
Yeah,
it.
they want to wait a
Come
few years.
on.
That's what they do now. They don't want to go to jail.
Come on.
So the older girls, they just become your friend, and they mentor you for a few years. And then when you hit 18, they just start sucking. That's what
dare you.
I'm just telling you
Tell
what I
us
hear.
more, Joe.
That's what I hear. Because a lot of women are realizing, wrongly so, they get arrested for having sex with these young boys. I think they just let it go. But once these women do realize that there's real consequences to it, what they do is just they befriend them. They become friends with these kids.
just
Wait
so
it
dark.
out. Long
yeah,
game.
they hang it. It's not dark. It's
Yeah.
only dark if it's a girl. Trust us, right? Ben, am I right?
Sure. Oh, you
You're
mean
14,
other way around.
the
right,
woman's
right, right.
hot. You have an issue. She's 25. She really likes you. She teaches you art and crafts and how
She's
to
a
come.
very skilled ceramicist.
Yeah, she's really good at making ashtrays and
Do you
sucking
like
your dick.
pottery?
Yeah, she fosters you. I get it. I'm in.
And on that note, where do we go from here?
Oh, jeez.
I don't know.
So many options.
Home, under the desk, into a fetal position.
It's that Mary Kay Letourneau, that girl that she's still with that boy. They're
Yeah,
still, and
yeah.
they had a fake divorce. They had to get a divorce because he's going into the weed business.
Really? Mm-hmm.
They only got divorced so that she wouldn't be like legally. It wouldn't be like a legal issue with him selling weed. There's something with him and her. He was like
What?
protecting her, so they got a divorce, but they're still together and happy apparently.
There's been a
Beautiful.
story like that coming out like every week right now about like a young teacher. Like this, I think this was
Oh,
like
yeah.
Another one.
24.
Substitute teacher, 24, accused of sex in 2 counties with her 17-year-old student. Okay, it's only 7 years difference, folks.
Right.
Okay, they got to let that go.
My parents have a huge age gap between them. Huge.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
many years? 80?
You want to get close?
Wait, let's play the
150.
game. Let's play the game. How old is Ben's dad?
70.
No.
78.
Okay,
No.
but you're not playing
You
by
get,
the rules.
You get,
first
you
of
get
all.
3 tries.
There's
So
rules
that
to
was
them.
2 tries.
I want to
And
keep
hold on,
going.
but you have
I
to
just gotta
you have to
I'll
get the
start at
spiel.
1 and
You
work
get
my
the
way up.
spiel. Okay.
Ben,
there's
just
a-
let him go. He's
no,
already
no, no,
got 2
there's
tries.
this is part of the look. I've been playing this game my whole life.
Okay.
Okay. So you
And
get
it's always changing because he gets older.
3 things. I tell you 3 things. One, okay, I'm 31 years old. I'm about to turn 32.
Next week.
Second
This
thing
week.
is my dad is crazy fucking old. Crazy. And the third thing is one person my entire life has ever guessed old enough. I mean, and you can go crazy, 150. Okay.
I already said 150.
I know. All right. So
So it's not
that's it. That
150.
doesn't
You get a
count.
free pass there, Rogan.
He's
Yeah.
not the oldest guy ever. Okay, I think your dad is 95 years old.
Okay, you were actually spot on.
Really?
Yeah, he's turning 96 in
He
November.
got it on the 3rd
Yeah,
try.
that's- yeah,
First
third try.
2 tries
Wow.
were 70 and 70.
Legit.
That disturbs me.
Mark Jaffe is 95.
I hate when I just take a shot in the dark. But obviously,
Nailed it.
you gave me a lot of parameters to work in.
That's
you
true,
know?
but
You're
still
like
generally
old,
with
super
those-
crazy old.
If it was your first guess, people on the parameters never guess that. Never.
I love that Joe just guessed your dad's proper age.
He nailed it.
And he'll be 96 in November.
That's incredible.
Holy
Crazy.
shit.
Yeah, dude.
What are you? What the fuck is going on?
Who, me? That was just a lucky guess. If I guessed when you didn't tell me he was crazy old, then it would be impressive.
See, that's
You
where I
know?
feel like you give people.
Yeah.
But you hearing what I'm saying? Nobody
that's
has
the
ever
thing.
done it.
Yeah, but that doesn't
One
matter.
person.
But you just
Who
said
was the other
it. You
person?
said, like, I got lucky. Listen, but if you like this is why like psychics are a problem. They start leading you.
Mentalists.
And then they give you a bunch of information. You get a bunch of information first, then they take a guess. Like if I told you that I was a psychic, and then we went through this whole thing, I sense your dad is he's getting on, but maybe not. Maybe he isn't. I mean, maybe he's doing well.
You're right.
Your
Joe.
dad is.
Yes, my dad's
he's
really
older. He's. I feel like he's older. Am I onto something? You'd be like,
Completely.
yes. I feel like it's a big issue. I feel like he's older than you would admit.
It's definitely been a thing.
So I feel like I want to say he's 95.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh
See-
my God! How
see?
did you know that?
That seems like I would be
Wow.
psychic. That's what psychics do, those fucks.
Bitches.
Like I had a friend of mine and he went to a psychic. He's like, dude, this guy knew all about my grandmother. I'm like, don't you know about your grandma? You know about your grandma, right? So this guy knew some shit that you already know. Tell this guy to tell you some shit that you don't know. You want someone to tell you things you already know? That is fucking ridiculous.
You're gonna set her off because she's
No,
gonna.
you're not.
No, not in a bad way. But I've never experienced it firsthand. I've never had a psychic or someone with that kind of energy tell me something that I was like, wait, what the fuck did you just say?
Wait, what?
But there's people like you in my life who I trust who have had experiences that are unexplainable.
I have.
Yeah.
I've had psychics tell me family secrets that I've bent over backwards to try to understand how they could possibly know what they knew. And I'm always skeptical. But I've definitely had people that told me things that there's fucking no way they could know.
Here's the question, though. Did you give them any answers to other questions before that?
No.
None. So they just told you right away, your uncle's gay, and he has a boy that he lives with that he pretends is his son, but it's really his.
Joe, what the
Right.
fuck?
I mean,
You'd be
like,
like, what?
Are you serious
like
right
without
now?
without
But
your
you just-
interpretation, yes. Yeah. I've
Like,
had I've
okay,
had
without that, but something that ridiculous, like
Yes.
that outrageous that they could only guess. And you didn't give him any answers to any
Not
leading
like that.
questions before
No.
that?
no.
I thought I heard it on your podcast, maybe not, but there's like a documented history of the military experimenting with.
Yes.
So I mean,
Experimenting.
but for years and years and years. So they're not
Yeah,
going to
but
spend
there's
that
no-
money if there's no actual question.
No,
Right?
that's not necessarily true.
Okay.
Because they wanted to find out if there was an answer, and the only way you find out is if you have to run some tests. And
But
they
if
had a
they've been
thing
doing-
called remote viewing, and we actually had some remote viewing experts on that TV show that I did for a while called Joe Rogan Questions Everything. We sat
Oh, I
down with
know.
them, and I had all these
loved it.
these remote viewing guys. Boo! At the end of the day, it seems a lot like psychics. It's like there's no like they claim to have seen some things and pointed out some things that helped some operations and this and that, but it's all top secret.
Right.
Whether or not it's true, you're never gonna know. You're
Yeah.
never gonna know whether they're bullshitting you or something really did go down. But I've never seen anybody do it. We had two guys try to do it. They were supposedly experts in it. They couldn't do shit.
And I think there's a lot of people that aren't authentic. But
That's true.
I-
There's a lot of money in shenanigans. There's a lot of money
Here's
in palm
the thing:
reading.
the people that aren't going to charge you the money are probably the people that are actually doing something that is meaningful.
Maybe, or it might be like a Stephen King book where you drive down the street and see that neon light and it says fortune teller, and you go in and it's some lady who sees through your soul, and she does, and she really does know things, and it's just like, this is how she gets by with this magic gift. You just pay her $20 a pop, and she just tells you crazy shit, and you do what you do with that, but she knows, and no one ever believes she knows because it doesn't make any sense. This fucking lady on Ventura and Victory, like, how the fuck does she know?
Tell us more, Joe.
How does she know? How does she know all this? She knows, man.
But she does.
Ventura doesn't intersect with Victory.
Oh, wow! There's the catch.
So when you're in the police office,
Why are you so
you're
cool?
telling them, no, I'm telling you, the place was there. It was real. She was a real person. I met her. The Wilsons have been living on Ventura and Victory for 37 years, and they've never moved. You get back to the house, and it's the house, and it's like, where did the fortune teller's shack go?
Are you making fun
But
of me right
I
now?
know I want to believe you right now.
Because we're going to talk
And
about this
that's
at the
it.
barbecue off mic, buddy.
So you really believe? You believe in psychics?
I've had too many things that I can't explain that I'm always going to question, but I have. Yeah.
Has anybody ever told you something was going to happen and then it happened?
I don't like that shit. And I don't subscribe to that.
So you shut your mouth.
I don't subscribe to that
Joseph.
because I don't want someone to tell me my future. I think that's unfair, and I think that's it's disrespectful.
Disrespectful is a weird word to use.
The experiences I've had with these people were with people that have died. That I've communicated with whether through dreams or psychedelics, and I had questions, but I didn't ask them, and I waited to see if they would tell me. And it's just kind of that sort of setup.
Here's the thing. It might be real, and it might be that real, what real is so ridiculous that it's almost like you can't bottle it, you can't measure it, you can't put it on a scale, and it only exists in these brief moments. And it comes and it goes, and you'll never be able to prove it. And it just comes and it goes, and it makes you think, like, God, I think I really believe that really did happen. And no one really knows, and everybody just goes about their business, but it really did. You really did tap in. You really did talk to someone who's not there anymore.
I think whether you did or didn't is up to your acceptance of the experience, and whether it's your ego or something you can't explain. And if it brings you comfort, that's great.
For sure, if it brings you comfort, right? I mean, that's the same argument for religion. You know, when people say that religion is bullshit, you go, well, okay, but it's bullshit that makes people happy. If it makes people happy, then it's not bullshit.
It's bullshit that makes people happy and also controls people and does really terrible things. So it's also.
But does it have to?
No.
Does it have to do all those things?
But I mean, there's a lot of. It's a very multifaceted subject.
Isn't it like sugar?
But
sure,
sugar kills a lot of people, but it also tastes delicious.
Yeah, I mean,
and if you could just manage it.
But it like gets people. But you know what's funny? Like I found out recently that Scientology, religion, is one of the main backers for Narcotics Anonymous.
They are?
Look it up.
I believe that.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Gauntlet thrown.
Well, they definitely don't like psychiatric medicine.
And so that's a really interesting window into manipulation and trying to get people to subscribe to something. And here's the thing. There's a lot of fucking shit out there. And I don't know what's right. I can just speak to my own experiences and things that I absolutely question with so much thought and continue to do so from things that have happened years ago. And I can't deny how I felt and what I've experienced. And I want to keep living and understanding whatever it is. If, there's a reason why we're here or there isn't and we're just here. But I'm not religious. I feel I feel interested in religion and some of the things I've experienced over the years, being raised Catholic.
And you're kind of talking about a religious experience.
Sure. I mean, but
when you say that
where
word, you think that everyone's going to think a specific
we've had
thing.
this argument.
But it doesn't need. Are we arguing?
Because it's not really a religion to me. It's not like some organized.
What's not a religion?
The spiritual, energetic exchange of information. Because I guess I equate religion, and this is where we can all talk about this. And I don't know if I'm right. I'm not preaching.
Well,
but
no one does, and no one knows if you're wrong either.
But religion to me is like the Catholicism I was raised on that requires guilt and wrongfulness and sin and money, because you go to church and you put your money in the basket every Sunday, and I've seen enough and I know enough about pedophilia within the Catholic Church. That's undeniable. You can't fucking deny any of that.
You're talking about an organization.
Sure, I'm talking about organization.
But
that's how I equate religion.
Whatever. It's just the same. Sure, but I think to different.
What's the matter, James?
Different people.
It's not the exact same that Narconon.
It's not. Okay.
Narcotics Anonymous is so Narconon is what the Scientology people have.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an organization that promotes the theories of Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard regarding substance abuse.
Okay.
Not the same thing as narcotics.
Thank you for clarifying.
Groups,
okay, I appreciate that.
And his, all of L. Ron Hubbard stuff, a lot of it came from other psychology textures and lectures, rather, and texts and books and stuff.
If you read the rudimentary levels of L. Ron Hubbard's teachings, they're amazing. And then they start getting weirder and weirder, and you're like, wait a minute. It's really interesting. And I think that's...
Even he didn't believe in psychics.
I know. Oh, what are you saying?
Brings it back around.
I don't really believe in psychics either. I just believe in my experiences. I think that there's a difference. I think there's a lot of... I think you should question everything and then try to understand yourself the best that you can.
I think unique moments can be unique. I think there's things that happen when you think about someone and the phone rings, and they can tell you all day long, that's a coincidence, man. How often do you think about them and the phone doesn't ring? You might be right. You might be right. But there are some pretty unique moments that I'm not exactly convinced are measurable. I don't know if they're measurable.
Right.
I think those unique moments where you think about someone and they text you, I don't necessarily think that there's been adequate studies done on that. And I think there's a lot of people that have these contrarian ideologies that they really love to dismiss things like this, and they really love to dismiss the potential connections that people have between each other. But we know we have connections when we're near each other. We know like some people can just look at you and you look at them and you're like, let's get the fuck out of here. You know, like we have like people have weird connections with each other. You also know when someone's upset at you and they're not being honest about it. You know, like we have weird sort of ways of feeling each other out that don't necessarily fit on a scale. They're not quantifiable, but they're there. You can't measure them, but you feel them.
That's funny. I'm reading this article about that kind of ties in music to that, just talking about. So you're talking about our ability to read each other's facial expressions, emotional expressions, and that's a successful trait. You know, that's something that's part of the development of this stuff, right? And basically, I'm just getting into it, but this article is just talking about how it's just a lot of scientists trying to understand, or people, like, why the fuck is music important? Like, this doesn't, why is this such an obsession, a human obsession? And
well, music is a drug.
To that.
I mean, it certainly is. Like, even like the other day I was watching Rocky IV. Rocky IV came on just out of nowhere. I was flipping to, and songs that I don't even think are good anymore. You know, but I recognize the drug-like effect that, like, you know, one of those Rocky songs, those Survivor Rocky songs.
But it's a combination of the movie and the music.
Yes.
It's not just the music. There's a visual.
But sometimes not. Like, sometimes just the music. You know, like when I run. When I run and if I listen to music, I can go longer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
What's that? What the fuck's going on there? How come you're not as tired when you're listening to?
Because you're having an emotional response.
And you're inspired. You're inspired, though. You're inspired by something that was taught to you at a different time. The rhythm of the music was ingrained in you at some point.
I can listen to Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart, and I can get up any fucking hill.
I would imagine if you took an indigenous tribe and played like rock music, they'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because they had no idea what it was. But maybe they wouldn't, because there's rhythm and there's a lot of musical tribal contributions to that area of your life. I don't know.
Rhythm is a dancer.
Exactly. Thanks
Is
for
this
backing
show,
me up.
we're not off the rails, right? We're good.
We're so good. I'm not
This is
stoned.
consistent
I'm
with
just
what
drunk.
we usually do, if that's what you're saying.
I feel like this is our best one yet. Maybe we've said that before. I don't know.
I think we say that every
getting
time.
better.
We haven't done one in a while. When was the
No,
last
it's
time we
been
did
over
one?
2 years.
No, almost 2 years.
Oh, well,
Almost 2
shit.
years.
Shit, damn.
Yeah.
You guys are still the only band I've ever worked with.
Come on.
Never worked with a band before.
Oh,
Like I
oh,
said,
never
the
did
last
shows.
is the band.
Never did shows. We did a couple shows.
Oh,
Those were
man,
fun.
Such a blast.
They were so much fun. Oh, my God. We had a New Year's together.
Dude,
you were so
that was
great
so much
because
fun.
there were like people were trying to count down and you weren't done with your bit and you were like, fuck you, I'm not done. And then you said, okay, now we can celebrate the new year. It was amazing. It was so great.
Well, it's in the middle of a bit. People are like, well, it's time. It's time. It's like, I missed it by 10 seconds, folks. Hang in there. Just hang in there.
It was great. Well, we did the End of the World pod, or the
Didn't
was
we do
really
it twice?
fun.
Weren't there 2 New Year's shows?
December
was two.
21st, 2012 was the big one. That was the first one we did. We did the End of the World one with Stanhope and Joey.
Was it New Year's, though? It wasn't
Yeah.
New Year's.
No,
No,
that
it
was
was the
December
Mayan-
21st. That was the end of the
It
Mayan
wasn't New
calendar.
Year's. Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
we planned that one out
still here, guys.
years in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew we were going to do. Stanhope and I talked about doing that, like, because he got tired of me talking about the Mayan calendar. Because he was like, let's fucking promise we're going to do a show December 21st. I'm like, let's do it. Let's get Diaz on board. Then, I met you guys. I'm like, let's have music. Let's have a fucking crazy end of the
It was
world.
awesome.
December 21st. And then the life went on for 5 more years. Like everything was
Still
fine.
going.
Hey, thanks for bringing us on. That was
Yeah,
a lot
man.
of fun.
It was fun
It
for
really
us too.
was.
It was fun.
How did you get the Alex Jones one to be 9/11, 9/11?
I had to plan it out.
So,
I
but that was-
had to fit some podcasts in. I had to do like extra ones the week before just so I could get to number 9/11 with Alex.
Yeah, that sounds like a long. See, that's
Well,
a
I could have had
process,
him
man.
on earlier, and I would have definitely had him on again for 9/11, but
Right.
having him on the first time for 9/11. And to this day, that's our biggest podcast by
Really?
far.
That was
Wow.
crazy.
By maybe 5 million downloads.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, but here's the conspiracy, right? Is that right? Am I saying correctly? What is the actual number?
It was like probably at 16 now. I didn't check in the last 2-3 days, but
Okay, so it's 16 million down. Here's what's crazy. It never charted on iTunes. The iTunes charts magically went down while the Alex Jones podcast was in the queue, and they stayed down for over a week. Conspiracy theory. And then when it came back up, podcasts that got way less downloads than Alex's were rated much higher than his. And they had happened before and after
Oh,
his.
I do remember
like
this.
his was the only
Yeah.
podcast that was left out of the ratings loop. Like for sure, it would have been the number 1 podcast in the country. It was the number 1 podcast we did by a mile. And I've
Wow.
had the number 1 podcast before. It's like the number 1 podcast episode. That was more than 5 million downloads more than any other podcast I had before.
Crazy.
So it for sure probably would have been number 1 if it
It's a
wasn't.
lot of downloads.
Unless they had like one of those serial episodes or something that came out that week.
Ooh, S-Town.
So there you go. And it's very likely that someone's trying to hold Alex Jones back.
And that just stokes his fucking fire.
They don't understand. It's the Streisand
Crazy.
effect. Can't stoke the
Oh,
fire
no.
of Alex Jones. Even Megyn Kelly's fucked now. Her show's going down the toilet.
Is it?
'Cause they
What
caught her-
happened in the aftermath?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Megyn Kelly was a Fox News person.
Mm-hmm.
She left Fox News to go to NBC. NBC is thought of as CNBC, which is thought of as fake news by these right-wing Trumpians. What would you call them? Trumpers.
Okay.
So as soon as she goes over there, they're not going to listen to her. And then to the liberals, she's Fox News.
Right.
So they're not interested in her either. And then she does this podcast with Alex Jones, or this interview rather with Alex Jones. And in the interview with Alex Jones, she says, I'm not going to paint you out as a monster. I'm going to give you a fair... Like she's saying all these things like she's going to throw softballs his way. I want people to get to know you. And he releases all that. And he's like, hey, this is that person. And then the ratings just keep plummeting. You gotta, if you want to be an ice princess, you gotta be on
go
Fox News.
Full ice.
If you want to sell guns, you want to be a Second Amendment proponent with
I
fucking
don't.
cold blue steel eyes and smooth shiny legs and nice shoes and tiny skirts, you got to be on Fox News.
How do you get smooth, shiny
Stay
legs?
in your
Shave
lane.
them. You got to shave them down
Really?
constantly, all day long.
Fuck.
Yeah, you have
Can't
these,
just wear pants?
Probably oil them up too.
yeah, you have illegal immigrants.
How do you
just
do it,
waiting.
Ben?
It's just kind of a natural thing for me.
Oh, really? You're hairless in the legs and the
Oh,
limbs?
Somebody's
Yeah.
got to be like that, right?
I
There's got to be somebody out there with no leg hair.
I'm sure it happens. It's called...
purity. Is that what it's called?
Sure is, Ben. It's
It
funny you
is.
brought it up.
One day we're all going to have no hair, and they're going to look back at pictures of us. They're going to go, what the fuck were they doing?
What is that bald
Armpit
human
hair,
race?
facial hair and shit.
Everyone looks the same.
Tattoos.
Yeah.
No eyebrows, eyelashes.
I really think that's the future. I
On
think
the
the
head.
future is those aliens from Close Encounters. I think the reason why we have those archetypal images in our head is because we know that's where we're
Have
going.
you ever talked to Paul Hellyer or looked at his stuff at
Who's
all?
that?
He's like the Canadian alien dude.
They're all the same.
But he was part of the
Saddle up.
government. And he
Oh,
talks.
was he? Oh,
he's
the
like
government. Well, then
specific-
for sure he's telling the
he's-
truth.
He specifically talks about the like different types of aliens.
Oh, well, that makes him even more legit.
Come on, Joe.
For sure, with no evidence, he definitely would tell us all about these all different kinds of
Yeah,
aliens.
you should look into it. You might want to have him on.
I have, unfortunately.
Have you?
And I'm
So you
not
know
saying
who I'm
there's no
talking about?
aliens. I don't know him, but I know the whole
Is it
alien
because you're an
movement.
alien
No,
and you don't
because
want people to know?
I think there's a business in
It's
telling people that
okay.
you know
We
about the
accept you
aliens.
for who you are.
The problem is there's a business in telling people that
Here
you know
he
about
is.
the aliens.
Ex-defense
Canada's
minister.
Aliens would give us more tech if we'd stop wars. All right, let's play this. I want to hear this. What's that? Oh, it's not, but it's on RT.
But why is he the one dude?
He was on RT. This
Why
is
they
a
just
still
talking
He's
frame
a
through
from-
him?
special dude.
Why
Ben.
don't they talk to other people?
But it says on RT,
That
proof
guy-
of
He's
aliens'
the one.
presence
He's like the
overwhelming.
chosen one.
No, that's just a picture of it. That's just a screenshot.
Oh, I
What, the
see.
Nintendo
But he
part?
was on, right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be a video of it, no?
There's many videos of Paul Hellyer.
And
I've watched them.
Do you buy it when you listen to him talk?
It makes me question.
I'd like to hear.
I'm interested.
I like to hear his voice to see if my crazy radar goes off. Just give me a little piece.
Tell us, wise
Give me a
one.
little taste.
Tell us, wise one, what you feel.
End of production before the end of
You got two different shit playing. Jamie's a tabber.
Well, because I know that they are.
Okay.
They've been, as a matter of fact, they've been visiting our planet for thousands of years. And one of the cases that would interest you most, if you give me 2 or 3 minutes to answer, is during the Cold War, 1961, there were about 50 UFOs in formation flying south from Russia to across Europe. And the Supreme Allied Commander was very concerned and about ready to press the panic button when they turned around and went back over the North Pole. So they decided to do an investigation.
What is that city?
And they investigated for 3 years, and they decided that with absolute certainty that 4 different species at least, had been visiting this planet for thousands of years. So that's, we have a long history of UFOs, and of course, there's been a lot more activity in the last few decades since we invented the atomic bomb, and they're very concerned about that and the fact that we might use it again. And because the whole cosmos is a unity, and it affects not just us, but other people in the cosmos, they're very much afraid that we might be stupid enough to start using atomic weapons again, and this would be very bad for us and for them as well.
So no serious scientist has ever publicly confirmed evidence of an encounter with extraterrestrials. Why would scientists not confirm the facts if they exist?
I'm afraid they must go out of their way not to find out. Because if they did, you know, even 10% of the amount of research I've done in the last 8 years, they would be as convinced as I am. I mean, they could do it even faster. Might take them a little longer when they didn't have a military background. But there are so many wonderful books that tell these stories, and they've been authenticated. The sightings have been authenticated by more than one witness, and also by radar.
Okay. This is the same horseshit. They've been authenticated by witnesses. That doesn't mean anything. There's no real video. There's no real photographs. Nothing looks good. A lot of people were talking about it, but when you think about how many human beings there are, there's 320 million plus in America. How many of them are crazy? At least 1%. That's 3,200,000 crazy people. How many of them really believe what they're saying? At least half. So you got 100. You got a lot of fucking crazy people.
Well, this is one video. So I've watched a couple of his, and it's interesting to think about in terms of like, we're here.
It's all interesting to think about, but as soon as someone starts talking like that, he says they've been authenticated, there was more than one witness, that means nothing.
Sure.
People are full of shit. I saw something. Doesn't mean anything. You might have, you might not have. But if he's 100% all in and he hasn't had a UFO experience himself that he's talking about,
That's
well,
fair.
then he seems gullible.
Totally
because
fair.
I talked to a lot of those people. I talked to those people that I talked to people that had implants pulled out of their body. I talked to people that were experts.
I have seen, oh, it's gone.
What does it say? You seen one? Yeah.
He
Sure
said
is.
he's seen one. Joe. Well, it's something that gives me a lot of thought. I don't know. I haven't seen one, but I'm curious to know.
But what he just said there did not impress me, because he said that multiple people had seen it, like more than one person had confirmed it. That doesn't mean anything. Like you could have 5 guys that lie. That doesn't
Joe,
mean
have
anything.
you
They
seen
might
a
tell the
UFO?
truth. I don't think so.
Italians call them UFOs. My people.
Do they?
Yeah, UFOs. Yeah,
I've never heard that.
that's a joke.
Oh, wow. 2 in a row.
How'd I do? Harry Potter was a fail, but I came back around.
Susie.
It was an UFO. Are we still friends?
Yes, 100%. It's not to dismiss.
Thank God.
It's not to dismiss the possibility of UFOs. It's just that you got to really be careful with how people talk about stuff.
Sure.
You got to be, you know, if someone starts talking that they know something and they.
Well, that's one video. I've watched a few of his videos, and they were really interesting. He was speaking before Canadian Congress, talking about this, and I've watched a lot of it in its entirety, and it's just worth thinking about. That's all.
But
I don't know what the truth is.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Sure, please. Yeah, always.
Just the fact that he has a lot of videos out there makes me wonder, because that means that he's making a living doing this, or this is a gig. This is a thing he
Not
does.
when you're speaking before the Canadian Congress.
Of course, if he
I
does a
don't think
bunch of
that-
these other interviews as well,
Sure.
that allows him to speak
Totally.
in front of, that's his thing.
Sure.
His thing is, I'm the guy who knows everything about UFOs.
Right.
But if you were talking to scientists, they would say, show us your evidence.
Right.
And
Always.
there's nothing. That's the thing about these guys. They all have stories, and
Sure.
no one has any evidence.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
don't
it
have
feels-
the evidence.
But it feels good to think that they're out there, right?
Fuck yeah! I want to know. I want to know stuff. I mean, like, look at all the shit that we have, and we're here, and all the things that we, all the resources that we use, and we're one planet in a universe full of other planets. That's all.
There it is, way up there.
I'm not afraid to say that I'm curious.
I'm
I think
curious
everybody
as fuck.
is, and I think people generally, it feels like a normal thing to be like, yeah, they're fucking out there. But what I think is hard to accept.
I don't
is
have hard
that they're-
evidence.
What's hard to accept is that they're communicating with us, and only certain people,
Yeah.
like Paul Hellier, know.
Well, maybe
You know?
he does know, and
And maybe
maybe
he
he
does.
has seen something, but maybe he's full of shit. The problem is, if you haven't seen it, and I haven't, or at least I don't think I have, and you're talking about these things, how much time you spend thinking and talking about them, like it gets to become almost like a pathology. Like,
Sure.
why are you so invested in something
Sure.
that you don't even know is real?
Mm-hmm.
But it becomes a thing that people are into. Like they're into baseball scores,
Mm.
or they're into bowling. They get into UFOs. They get into it, and then they start. I mean, this dude's obviously making a career out of it. He's out there traveling.
I don't know that. I mean, that's something to investigate upon this conversation. But it's made me think for years. Like I've seen some Paul Hellier videos, and I'm just like, wow, okay. And it makes me think. That's all.
Maybe.
And I will always be curious about aliens and psychics and all the shit.
It's so
I'm not
so
superlative
controversial.
in that way, where it's like yes or no. I just don't know, but I
don't know
want to
either.
know. I'd love to keep learning.
I would too. But I think that with guys like this, when you're talking about a subject that's this mercurial, this is such a difficult subject. I think it's very important to only talk about the actual facts,
Sure.
like what we know or what we don't know. If he wants to talk about his own personal experience, that's one thing. But when you start talking about stories that you heard, like, okay, people
Oh,
are
agreed,
full of
agreed.
shit from the beginning of
Yeah.
time. We've been telling stupid stories about werewolves and fucking vampires.
I think that's
and,
how a lot of damage is done too. It's like it's all derivative passed down. Like, oh, I heard this from this and this and this, but you weren't there, so you don't know. You know, it's like I'm reading this book about our brains and how our recollection of memories and like eyewitnesses are usually inaccurate because you don't really remember like you think you did, and your brain lies to you and tells you that you saw something a certain way.
right.
And even that, like, I don't know. It's
That's very important for people to know.
absolutely.
People, there's a lot of people out there that think their memories are super accurate.
Well, and this ties into being wrong. This ties into being like, I didn't see it the way that I think I did, and I might have made a mistake, and I'm sorry. You know, like that's okay. That's important too, because I think a lot of times when you have some big statement about something that you believe in, or like if you want to get down to having some sort of trial of this or that, and you say, I remember it just like this.
right.
It's
And then you get dramatic and emotional and try to
Yeah.
sell it. You're
it's
selling it like you're running for Congress.
it's
$40,000 a day.
frightening. It really is.
It is. But, people that are trying to convince people. I mean, that's one of the reasons why being a president's so crazy, because you're basically like trying to trick people into liking you. You're trying to be charismatic, and that's
Do
what
presidents
sells the
ever
most.
say, I made a mistake? Do they ever say, I'm sorry, I messed up?
I'm sure somebody must have.
Publicly?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think there's moments. I don't
think
think
it's
it's like a,
Probably
That'd
nice.
be really interesting.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna have to happen someday. Someday.
Sing it, Joe.
I don't know which one that is,
Can't
but
sing,
I'm with you.
unfortunately.
I bet you can.
I think you sound great.
I can't.
You sound
know,
great.
No, you guys sound great.
What? Come on.
I
Why don't you guys sing us a song? Do you want to do that? When I rem this up, we've been doing for 3 hours and 20 minutes.
We should
Really?
sing a song.
Yep.
And then we
Jesus
should go
Christ.
Isn't that
make
right,
some
Jamie?
food.
Started a little late, so we're
Yeah, but it's 5:20.
yeah, we're 2:45 in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, why did
Still
I
a
think we
chunk of
started
time.
at 2 o'clock? We didn't. Oh, we did another podcast afterward. That's. I mean, we did
We
another
did
pool
two.
game.
We like broke it in half. Ben, what do you want to play?
Whatever.
So we have solo records coming out.
Oh shit! You guys practice together with your solo shit?
We did
Just
because we
before
support
this.
each other. We sure did and do. My record comes out August 11th.
That's my birthday.
Is it really?
Yes.
Shut up!
Yes.
What, Joe? Well, this is like an
Yes.
omen.
Yes.
You want to come to my release on August 10th in LA?
Yes.
You are welcome.
All right. Awesome.
Shit, I don't have a release date. I gotta get my shit together.
Get your
Ben
shit
made a beautiful
together,
record.
Ben.
Ben made a
Smoking too
fucking
much
awesome
weed,
record.
Ben. Ben smoking too much weed, not
damn it.
scheduling shit, blowing off meetings.
Lagging.
Listen, man, I
It's
just need my
hard,
music, man.
guys.
Let's play your song first.
Oh, geez, you want to do that?
Yeah, let's
A
do
lot of
it.
pressure.
Getting deep here. I couldn't. I'm not ready. I couldn't possibly. You're not gonna play on it. You just.
No, I'm
gonna
gonna sing. I
Okay,
think
here
I
we
should
go.
sing.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You can do the instrumental part.
Okay.
What's this called?
It's called Everlasting Peace. Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Satnam.
Yeah. Here we go. Some days I wake up in a sweat, body's wet from the tension, baby. With all these cheap thrills from tangible achievements weighing heavy on my mind. But time has shown me you're the only one who could bring me everlasting peace. Time has shown me you're the only one who can bring me everlasting peace. Oh. It's like a path I'll walk, lift me up like daytime talk, like arena rock, and I'll sing it to you, soft and sweet and straight from the heart, so there's no questions there. Time has shown me you're the only one who can bring me everlasting peace. Time has shown me you're the only one who can bring me everlasting peace. Everlasting peace. There'd be a violin solo, but we don't have the violin right now. We'll skip that part. I say it till I don't mean it. Don't wanna compromise. Don't wanna lose myself in some disguise. But I know. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I know. The time has shown me you're the only one who can bring me everlasting peace. Time has shown me you're the only one who can bring me everlasting peace. Everlasting peace. Everlasting peace.
Dude. You guys have such a good sound together. It's two people that have been working together for a long time. You guys know each other's sounds.
I might have messed that up a little bit for Ben. I'm sorry.
Doesn't make a difference.
How'd you mess it up?
Oh, you know, it's new stuff. It's like, I'm just going to shut my mouth.
Shut that mouth and open it up with singing.
Okay.
What are you going to do now?
This is my single off my new record that comes out on your birthday.
August 11th.
It's called Ghost in My Bed. There's a music video out for it now if anyone wants to
Where
see
does someone get that? Can they
on
get
the
it on
YouTube.
YouTube?
Is that okay? It's on
Yeah.
YouTube. And coincidentally, it is KCRW's Tune of the Day today.
Oh,
I don't even know how that was
shit.
possible.
It's loud.
It's a little out. Okay, I'm going to tune it up like a real professional.
You tune it up with your phone?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes, Joseph. They have these things that tune the instruments.
What is it on your phone? Like, I'm totally ignorant to this. What is this?
Do you see it? It's like
It's microphone.
yeah,
picks
tracking the frequency.
Yeah.
Right. What is it called?
It's just an app. It's a guitar tuner. There's hundreds of them.
Oh, wow. There's a bunch of them, huh?
Here, what are you singing right now?
Wow, and it works off of the microphone of your phone the same way one would work
Is this
like
okay,
in a studio?
like sonically?
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, we could be in a better situation. It's pretty good though.
Should I give it another angle?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. Okay. You want to do this?
Wait, should I get my pick or should I go fingers?
You get your pick. Get your pick like a real.
Do you always have a pick with you?
I don't
Are you
Do you always
sure?
have a pick with you constantly?
because I'm playing all fingers these days.
Are you sure?
What's
that?
that? There might be one.
Oh, there are. Fuck.
Jesus.
Ben, get it.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm scared of picks, bro.
I'm done with them.
There's a ghost in my bed, screwing with my head, stomping around my room, drinking all my booze. He makes me toss and turn, my stomach churn, and he laughs at me, thinks it's so funny. He drives my car and says, hold on, child. The road we're on is winding wild, and we got busted wheels, a dead end end. I will haunt you till you're lying still. Yeah, he always gets me good and wasted. I knew it from the start. The first time I tasted the darkness when he kissed my mouth. I'm his to haunt, and he's my way out. He pulls me in my face on his chest. He ain't wearing his shirt. I ain't wearing my dress. He spills tequila into my mouth, and we hit the town. Tear that motherfucker down, 'cause he always gets me good and wasted. I loved it from the start. The first time I tasted the darkness when he kissed my mouth. I'm his son. Yeah, he's my way out. Yeah, he always gets me good and wasted. I loved it from the start. The first time I tasted the darkness when he kissed my mouth. I'm his to haunt. Yeah, he's my way out. My way
KCRW song of the day. Suzanne Santo goes to my bed.
Oh, thanks for letting us play, Joe.
Yeah, thanks
That was
for
awesome.
having us. Thanks for
My
letting us
pleasure.
jam.
You guys are the shit.
I took my headphones off. I hope I didn't like ruin the
No,
whole
it was awesome.
thing.
It's beautiful.
Sorry.
Perfect. Don't say a word.
Couldn't hear very well.
Everyone's fine. That was fun. Should we do more or should we go eat?
It's up to you,
It's up
dude.
to you guys. What do you want to do? Want to do one more song?
Oh, wait. Well, here's the thing. We're
Here's
going to
the
be on a
thing.
TV show. Did we tell you about that?
Boing.
On August 3rd, we're on a show on TBS called The Guest Book.
Ooh.
And we wrote a bunch of music for it. And we are on every episode of this half-hour comedy.
What?
Yeah,
Every episode?
Yeah, I play the mail lady who delivers the mail, and Ben plays the exterminator.
Wait a minute. You guys, you put music and you're acting on the show
So
too?
we
not right.
got
We don't have
paid as
lines.
SAG actors.
What is this show? What is it about?
You know, so there was the show called My Name is Earl. You know that show?
Yes, loved
okay.
it.
Okay, so the guy Greg Garcia
Oh, Greg
created
loves you,
Greg.
Joe. By the
Loves
way,
you.
Greg Garcia loves you, and
I
you
love
should have
Greg.
him on the show.
I would
He's
definitely have him
amazing.
on. I love
He's
that
so
guy.
wonderful.
So
We
this
talked
is-
about doing something. I had a meeting with him a long
You should have him
time
on the
ago.
show.
Mm-hmm.
I can help fucking make that connection. So can Ben Jaffe.
Okay, I would love to. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
So what happened?
So they needed a band. I guess they were looking at kind of like a spur of the moment thing. Greg was like, "Okay, I'm thinking there's going to be a band that closes out every episode, kind of transitions
We play
between
in the strip club.
the episodes."
Oh.
And a friend of ours.
Oh my God!
Oh shit, that's the show.
Oh my God!
Michael Rappaport, Jamie Presley.
This is crazy.
Oh, damn. Now I
There's
want
a
to watch
trailer
this
now,
show.
Ben. Oh, love him so much.
Did you guys work with Jamie?
Yeah, one scene.
We got to do a scene at AA with her. It was,
She's so
it
nice.
was really
She is
fun.
awesome.
She's
I did
great.
a terrible movie with her way back in the day that never went anywhere.
What was it called?
I don't remember, but she was super nice.
Oh, Danny Pudi. Oh, he's the best.
Whoa. What the fuck is this? The Guest Book premieres August 3rd, and it's on TBS.
Go watch it, folks.
Yeah.
Hey, look, he's got all the things I want. Weirdos in a log cabin.
Boom.
We're
like
gonna play
it.
a song that didn't make it on the show, but
Oh,
we don't
okay.
have to.
Hey, what the fuck happened to that song Punk Kid? Like, where is that at? What's the status
That's
of that
at like
song?
Honey Honey's 4th record when we're ready to make
Yeah,
it.
we
That
gotta
is
figure
a
our shit
great
out
song,
together, Joe.
and that song, like the riff from that song, was on my Denver comedy special, Rocky
We
Mountain
know.
High.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Yeah,
Joe.
my pleasure.
Thank you.
But I love that song. That song was fucking great. Like, what happened?
Well, on our last record,
There was a snafu,
it
correct?
there was some kind of quasi
I think this is label politics a little bit. Like it was a little more rock and roll, and it wasn't as Americana, and it just.
It was our choice to keep it off eventually. Like
Oh,
it
that's
it turned
right, because
around
they
and
didn't
around and
wanna-
around. But this
That's
was a song
right.
that this was a couple years ago. We came out here to work with a great dude named Keefus Chancia. And we just did a set, and there was that and a couple other songs that we did that were ours. We owned this music.
It was
but
one of the
when-
things where we owned it, and they didn't want to pay for it. They
Yeah.
didn't want to. So we
So
would
we were
have,
like,
if
we're
we
gonna
put it
keep
on
it
a
then.
record, they would have owned it and not have like. So we were like, "Fuck!" We put all this effort into this song, and we love this song, but it was just that thing where
business
like
is
we had to fight for it, and it's a great song, and it's not going anywhere. It'll come out eventually, hopefully.
This is dirty. People don't know about that song, though.
Well,
You
a little
do.
bit. That
I
song
do. I
bought
love
our
that song.
Elon Musk.
Did you guys
That
play it
bought our
somewhere?
Elon
We
Musk
played it
song.
here.
Oh, that's right. They played it
Man,
here.
look at you
Yeah.
with your pink
My
shirt.
little pink shirt.
Damn, that's
I love
back
that shirt.
back in the dizzy.
I know.
So, but
Lost those glasses.
it never made it on anything else other than that YouTube video. Is it on anything else where people can listen to it?
Well, we put it out. People downloaded it. We
Oh.
used it to raise money for this vehicle.
So we could buy a
But
car.
we never put it out on. It's not on Spotify.
So
it's not on
only
any of that
you
stuff.
guys own it.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we played it, it wouldn't like trip any alarms or anything,
No,
right?
you can play it anytime you want.
Play that shit right now.
Damn.
You go cook. Can you find it?
I can play the version they played for sure. Let me see if I can find it.
What, see if not the version they played
I know,
here.
I know, see, I gotta
Let's
see.
see if there's another version of it that you can find,
have
like
it.
the pure studio version, because it's so good.
That was
so
a cool
funny.
one. What's
Oh,
the?
man.
I bet we could.
I love that song. That was like one of my favorite songs. And then when your new album came out, I was like, "Where's the song? Where's Punk Kid?"
It was a big debate. It was a real thing.
Those
And
motherfuckers.
well, that's okay.
Those
Like
motherfuckers.
you know, you just got to keep forging ahead and figuring out how to maintain your integrity and also like what you've worked for, and
I
that was
can't imagine how
something
you
we
guys do
didn't
it.
we just didn't want to give it up. We didn't want someone else to be like, "Yeah, we own this."
Well, I'm glad you didn't, but I can't imagine how you guys do it, because if that was me and I found out that my jokes, like a bit that I did that I worked really long and hard on, all of a sudden if I wanted to put it on a special, someone else is going to own it without even paying me
Yeah,
for it. I'd be
it's
like,
really
"Well,
fucked
fuck
up.
you, man. That's crazy."
This is why I'm making my own furniture for my apartment.
Do you find it
And that's
anywhere, Jamie?
okay. I'm
I have
happy.
it downloaded, but it's not on this phone or this computer. It's on another computer.
Hold on, y'all.
What is it? Is it on Spotify? Is that what you guys said?
No.
They don't have it anywhere. That's why it was only available.
Ben, I think I've got it in my iTunes. You want me to
Confusion.
Oh, here it is. I got it right here.
What can we do?
How do I send it to you, Yami?
You can plug it in there. You got an aux? No, it's one of those stupid ass.
You have a
fucked up,
dongle, though, guys?
goddamn fucking iPhones. Android phones have an aux.
Well, can I
Don't
just
you have an
email it to you?
iPhone, Joe?
Yep.
Yeah, but eardrums faster.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
How the
But
fuck do I do
I've seriously considered
Oh,
going
Android.
Android several times.
Everyone.
There's a new one. This new
Here we go. I got it.
Google Pixel 2 is coming out, and then
Okay.
also the new Galaxy S8.
It doesn't set on fire?
No, the
Okay,
the
that's
Note
good.
8
That's
is the
good.
one. The Note 7 was the one that went on fire. The
Okay.
Galaxy 7 never went on
It's
fire.
funny. It's all over the airports, too. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, just so you know.
Yeah. So the
crazy.
Galaxy S8 is dope. I've thought about that one, and then the Galaxy Note 8, which is coming out soon, is pretty killer too. They're just as good as iPhones now. It's just getting off the Apple tit is the issue. You know, the Apple tit that connects you to iPods.
It's difficult.
Or
It's difficult.
iTunes.
It's all makes your life more convenient.
But I'm on the Google tit too. I love Google.
Google tit's good.
I
It's
use
a
it all
big
the
tit.
time. It's a juicy
It's
one.
like at least a D cup.
There's so much information.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to choose between a company that I rely on more, if I could just use a Google phone, but I could still use Google,
Right.
well, you got to go with Google, right? That's
makes sense.
giant. I use that way more than I use anything.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
Googling things.
I mean, who doesn't? You need to know shit.
I need to know
Like,
shit,
what is my shoe
Suzanne.
size in European size? Very
Ooh,
big.
That's a
is
good
the
one.
answer. Very
if you,
big.
If you wanted to order some shoes from overseas.
Do you have
1400,
pancakes
I
as
think.
feet as well? I do.
Yeah, I have Sasquatch feet.
Really?
Big ass wide
Well,
feet.
I could probably outfoot you, right?
Guys, my feet are slender.
Damn. Yeah, I've been on this trail running kick, and
Oh, yeah.
I run with those feet shoes, those
Those are
five
fun.
finger shoes.
Those are fun.
People, I've never seen a foot product generate so much hate. Never
Really?
in my
People
life.
can't handle
People
it.
wear those
Why do they hate
those
it?
Vibram 5-finger shoes.
But why?
They don't like the way it looks.
Well, how do you feel about it?
I don't give a fuck.
How do you
I wear a
but-
fanny pack.
How do you feel
So
about
does Pauly Shore.
about
I saw
the
Pauly
shoe?
Shore at the grocery store the other
Don't
day.
lump me in with him and make me get rid of my... I'm just kidding.
He had a fanny pack. Sorry.
A lot of people wearing them now.
And he gave me the
It's coming
stink
back.
eye a little bit. I'm sorry.
Because he knew you were Jewish.
He didn't know that you knew. How do I feel when I wear them? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? They're
Yeah, like,
great.
how does
They're
your
great.
body feel?
It's hard because I'm running rocky hills and I'm running a lot of miles. So like 3 miles on these like
Rocky
very
Hills
steep.
sounds like a great porn star name.
It does.
Sorry.
A girl with ridiculous tits.
Yeah.
Just Jesus, what the fuck is
Little
going on
double
there?
penetration
Rocky
on Rocky
Mountains.
Hills. Yeah.
Giant hands poking out of her shirt. Jesus.
Third
That's
nipple.
Rocky Hills. But it's tricky. Like today, I ran them in like Under Armour trail shoes, which I got to be honest, I kind of like better because
Do
you
you
could
love
just
Under
run
Armour?
full on.
I do.
They have a lot of great shit. I'm wearing
They
their
do.
sneakers. Right now.
They're one of the most eco athletic lines. That's
Really?
Yeah. They
Well,
use
they're also one of the very
lot of-
few big companies that support hunting. They have a whole hunting line, and that means that's a bold
Under Armour.
choice.
If you want to endorse Honey Honey, we are willing and ready. Big fan. Big fan.
Under Armour, the
Yeah.
gauntlet's been thrown down.
Yeah, for rock and roll. Are you ready to expand?
Stage wear. Holy shit.
Stage wear.
Ready.
I've always
New
wanted to have
area.
tracksuits for the whole band, like when we're loading in, because we have to like do a lot of work.
But let me be honest. If you get a tracksuit, don't you have to get Adidas?
Good
You
call.
mean like
Maybe
Royal
Fila.
Tenenbaums sign?
Kinda
That's
Fila.
Yeah, you
fine.
definitely have to be
Fila.
going a little hip hop with it. A little bit.
I'm slurring my words.
Some
I
velour.
can't even speak properly.
You're fine. You're fine.
No, I
bet
it's
you
fine.
play pool real good right now, though, right?
Let's fucking
shit.
do this.
Hope it's better
Let's
than
throw
before.
down. We played pool earlier, and I did not play my best.
But you know what was bizarre? Maybe
it's
you
because
were
I want to
just,
beat Joe so badly.
maybe you weren't giving us the full juice. We came down to it 2 games.
Yeah, we
You
were right
destroyed us
down
the
ball
third
to
one.
ball.
But you played so much better than us.
Oh, here we go.
That's because he wears a glove.
She outed me
Oh
in
my
my
God,
pool
this
glove.
is
Here we
Punk Kid.
go. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Honey, Honey, Suzanne Santo, new album, August 11.
When you were young, I bet you were a punk kid when you were young. Flashing your cut, tearing shit up, I bet you were a punk. Cause it takes one to know one. Prodigal son, yeah, I bet you were a punk.
This sounds like shit. What's that? Hold on, kill it.
I don't
There's
know.
something
okay.
like the audio quality's terrible.
It got compressed when I sent it. I texted it to myself.
Yeah, that
There's no way I
sounded
could
like
get it
that
on
shit
here.
was coming out of a
Well,
toilet
just
bowl.
so you know, it could sound better than that.
It sounds way better than that. I realized I had to stop it. I was like, "There's no way I could have that represent that song." There's no way to get it through a computer. You have to text it to yourself.
I'm trying to get it, and it's not. My phone's not connecting to the computer right now. I don't know why, or I can't. Like he texted it to me.
It's got to be complicated if Jamie can't get it.
This
is impressive. Impressively
I didn't just
complicated
email.
to get.
That was a nice like fade out.
I was
too,
trying to
though. We
email it
kinda-
to myself, and that it wouldn't.
Would have been perfect.
The song wasn't attaching in the email. I don't know. There's
Damn.
lots of different things.
So there's no other way to get it? Well, don't you guys have a way that you can tell people that they can get it? Like if someone says, "Hey Ben, I heard your Punk Kid song is really awesome. Where can I go about hearing that?"
Well, I'll let him know.
Yeah, Ben, where
We'll
is
tell
it? Where is it, Ben?
Let him know right
here's
now.
what
We can put it on
didn't-
SoundCloud. We can do that right.
You know what we didn't
Can you do that right now?
before we got on the podcast
Yeah.
was like organize
Upload it.
our social media, because our Honey Honey website looks like our record's just coming out and it came out 3 years ago. But we're working on that. This is part of the DIY conundrum.
Well, it's also part of the promoting artist conundrum because like the thing that makes you a really good artist also makes you shit at promoting. 'Cause
It's
you just try-
hard.
yeah,
It's a lot, but
different things.
that's what's cool about getting teams around you, like
right. But
good
then they get
PR.
obsessed with you and they get weird.
No, good PR.
Yeah, but what's fucking great?
Oh.
No, honestly, it's you having us on your thing, dude. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Like it just game changer.
If only you guys could figure out how to get one of your favorite fucking songs online so I could play it. That'd be the shit. Damn it.
I feel like it's time to go barbecue now.
We're definitely going to go barbecue. We're just going to play the song, then we're going to barbecue.
Oh, hell yeah.
What else to say? Vegas this weekend, Friday night. I'll be at the Ka Theater at the MGM with Tony Hinchcliffe. It's where they do the Cirque du Soleil.
How fun.
Yeah.
Are you going to get up in there and with your
they put me in a
leotard on?
diaper and they connect
I was gonna
wires
say,
to the diaper and
I
they
feel
fly
like
me
people
through
would
the
pay a
sky.
lot of money to see that.
No, they have this crazy setup back there. We don't use it. We just use the flat stage. But the setup's insane.
I want to
They-
go. Can I go?
Fuck yeah. There's all these hydraulics.
Ben, you want to go
and
to
shit.
Vegas? Oh, it's your birthday weekend.
Dare you?
Oh shit! This is your
What
birthday
is?
weekend?
What
oh,
am-
looks
I
like someone's
dare.
going to Vegas.
Chill.
Someone needs to go to the
Ben was
UFC.
all, what are we doing for the birthday? on Saturday?
UFC Saturday night.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Vegas.
Dude, if you and I go to Vegas, it's gonna be trouble.
Good fights.
What do you mean? We're going to make lots of money?
Oh, you guys gamble?
Of
This one
course.
does.
So we have no solution so far. This is insane.
That's
I've never
okay.
So sorry.
heard of such a thing.
So sorry.
We were talking
so
about
this doesn't work for
Mystique
me just
earlier.
To Gmail this. I mean, whatever.
No, it gets compressed.
It shouldn't though.
Yeah, the texting did it. If you can, it wasn't attached in the email when I tried to put my email in there, so I didn't. I bailed and
Okay.
went a different route.
Your email.
This is not going to work. People are going to find it. Those hackers. They're going to send Jamie dick pics all day. Don't do it to them.
Come on, you want to see it? You could just forward them to me. That's fine.
Have you gotten dick pics before?
Yeah, definitely.
No, when you get them, you're like, really?
Well, it depends on if I'm into it or not. But there's a great dick pic, which is the actual. It's.
You gotta dress them up.
Dress up the
Outfits.
dicks.
I'm gonna send this to
Little
Joe.
hat.
Hats. You
Yeah.
ever see that one, that dude that turned his dick into a dragon? And he put like tattoos all over his dick and like
that's
bolts in
horrifying.
it and shit. And
That sounds awful.
unless you're
Okay.
into dragon dicks.
I'm gonna just
Then that
Joe.
is the
Got a
thing
dragon
for
on my
you.
back.
Got a dragon on my
Joe, do you have your phone on you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a dick pic.
Nice. Finally.
We've been friends a long time, but I feel like
It's about time.
it's
to
about
let the
time we
dick pics
cross this
flow.
threshold. It's really.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
What do we got?
Solid.
Okay,
Solid.
here it is. Okay.
That's about in line with the other jokes you've been throwing down.
Oh, interesting. I get it. It's a dick on a pick, folks.
A guitar
Get it?
pic.
Okay, Joe, just to make you feel better, I'm going to send you a dick pic. Like a
No,
real-
you don't
Come on,
have
just to make up
I've
for it.
seen them. It's fine.
He's seen them all.
I've
He's seen the
seen
one with the
a lot
guy
of
who was a
them.
football player and he wanted you could
Do we
fit
got
it
anything
into the
going on,
shoe.
Jamie? No? Should we end this?
I feel like we should just.
Oh,
Send
it
email?
didn't. It
No, I
didn't.
get it yet.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Did it go through?
I could play the one where they were on here on the podcast.
Boom,
But
boom,
that
boom,
sounds
boom,
so
boom, boom, boom.
badass version.
We could do that.
Jamie really wants to play that one. I feel like.
Well, he knows it's a good
I know where
audio
it is.
quality.
I know where it is.
Yeah, that.
Okay, let's do that one.
Is it still daylight outside?
Yes,
Holy
it's daylight till
smokes.
8 p.m. now.
Oh my God.
I was shooting bows and arrows at 7:45 the other day.
You were?
Yeah, it was clear enough.
In
I
the
could see
night?
the target.
Where do you shoot them? Into the abyss?
I'll show you.
Joe, where do you shoot your arrows? Hold on.
Unfortunate spots.
Joe, I just sent it to you.
Okay. Well, how's that going to
It
work?
says sent.
Okay. And you sent it to Jamie and it didn't work? Is that what happened?
I mean, that's what it's feeling like.
Hey,
didn't reach
tip
me
of the
either.
hat to your lava lamps. I'm just going to say that right now.
Old school.
That is a
I
big
like
boy.
them a
Yeah.
lot. I feel entranced by
I'm
them.
trying to go as hippie as I can without being a hippie.
No, it's
You know
totally
what I mean?
cool.
I get, okay, Jamie.
You've got a salt rock lamp. I'm just going to say that's
I've
great.
got a couple of those. One of them died on us.
What?
Yeah, very sad.
Did it lose its positive ions?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I think it's just the power cable crapped out. That one's dead, right? Is that one not working anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one doesn't work, but that one works. See, that one is lit up. And
I love
supposedly-
it. It's a good size. It's next to your Marshall amp. Is that Marshall amp also like a radio?
It's a Bluetooth speaker. That's
Yeah,
all
I
it
want
is.
one of those really badly.
Yeah, we can have
They
that one.
sound great.
You want it?
No, it's yours.
Nope, you can have it. Got to clear this place out anywhere.
What?
Got a new studio.
Okay, I'll take
Suzanne.
Did that
It's all
go through?
yours.
Did that email go
Yes,
through?
and I sent it to Jamie.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go, folks.
Oh my God.
We got this.
This sounds
August
better.
11th, Suzanne Santo's new album comes
Bet
out.
you were a punk kid when
See
you were
ya.
young. I bet you were a punk kid when you were young. Flashing your cut, tearing shit up. I bet you were a punk. Cause it takes one to know one. Prodigal son, yeah, I bet you were a punk. How's it working out for you? Who's coming around for you? Say you stuck on all your bad. Oh, honey, you're a fucker. Bet you made your mama cry when you were young. I bet you made your mama cry. Shining the cross, ripping her off, cutting it down to size. She's a good one with a bad son. Wondering why you always made her cry, honey. How's that working out for you? Who's coming around for you? Say you stuck on all your bad. Oh, honey, you're a fucker. Bad news, darling. You fall so fast, hanging on your own dead way. You're not an innocent I'm feeling bad for how you do, yeah, I'm feeling bad for how you do. 'Cause somewhere along the line, somebody gave it to you. On the right side and the wrong side, no matter how you do, I feel for you. I feel for you. How's that working out for you? Who's coming around for you? Say you stuck on all your bad. Oh, honey, you're a fucker. You're a fucker.
We did it, folks.
Damn.
Good night.